This is Truckee B47 from the Ranger Command Power Hour, and you are listening to the Four-Eyed Radio Network. Ranger Command is now on Patreon. Become a patron by pledging as much or as little as you like every month and receive cool perks. By pledging, you are helping us make our show even better. Go to patreon.com/rangercommandph to learn more. Thanks.
Hey there, Eric here from Socially Awkward Studios, and this Four-Eyed Radio presentation is being proudly brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another week of Appropriately Inappropriate. Thanks for coming back and listening. I hope you enjoyed last week's double episodes, man. We had two for the first time. It was way cool. Sam Flieger last Sunday, and then Matt Storrs with guest host Chris Centeni, because Nancy was camping with children. Couldn't be in studio. She's too busy being parent for a bunch of Girl Scouts. Which, after 81 episodes with you, well, you've missed a few here and there from vacations, but
right.
Why would anyone leave you in charge of multiple children, especially that aren't theirs? I would never leave my child with you.
Because they don't know me.
All right.
Those who know me...
Those who know me don't know.
No way. But they just think maybe I'm a fellow Girl Scout. I've got this handled. I didn't have it handled.
No?
No.
Well, dude, they were great episodes, so if you haven't checked those out, please go back and listen. One shout-out I got to do on Twitter, at Vinny No Filter. At Vinny No Filter. Checked out this episode with Centeni and Matt, and wrote in. That was cool as shit, man. Thanks for listening and the stuff you said. We appreciate it. Anything we can do. What, Nance?
Happy birthday, Justin. It's Justin.
Oh, Teachin. Yeah, it was his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to your daughter. Happy birthday to a bunch of other people. Let's see.
We don't ever do that.
Right off the bat, as always, you can follow me on Twitter at no longer, I don't have the underscore anymore.
What?
Yeah, but I also don't have just my name. I changed it. It's at I am Kevin Elliott.
I thought you were checking obituaries.
Yeah, I know. I still do.
Hallelujah.
I'm still good, but I don't have that. So now it's at I am Kevin Elliott. Little pretentious, but who gives a shit? I don't have an underscore anymore. And dates. The only ones that I'm going to really shout out, important, Friday, March 13th in Tucson with Brant Tobler at Sinatra's Hideout. Saturday, March 14th in Goodyear. Don't know the place yet. Sunday, March 15th in Flagstaff. Still don't know the place, but I'll let you know. March 27th is a Friday, Comedy on Fire with Matt Micheletti and like 30 other comics. And then the big one that I want all of you to go to is Thursday, April 2nd at Stand Up Scottsdale with me, Johnny LaQuasto, and Grant Cotter. So, Nancy.
Yes.
Where can people find you if they're on the internet?
On Instagram, at Ngaragus, and I just posted a new picture last night.
Of?
My dog. But okay, Kev, my dog, CJ, the Mastiff, that we talk about a lot, 'cause she's the coolest dog, she turned 13 2 days ago.
30?
13.
30.
Right. 13. She's going on 30.
No, that's cool, man.
So
she made
we posted the picture of her on the couch because she, in dog years, is like 200, and she's still on the couch, making it happen. And she looks great. I don't think she's going anywhere for a while.
Oh, she's so great.
She's 13.
Well, congratulations, Siege, for making it to the big 1-3. Hopefully this is a lucky year for you. I know she's a big listener to the show.
Yeah, oh yeah.
On Instagram, at Ngaragus. Nance, are you up followers?
106.
All right, 2 more. You're building.
I know.
Okay, guys.
Especially because I only have 8 pictures on there.
To say that I'm excited for this episode is an understatement. Our guest this week is a good friend of mine, and I'm so amped to have him on because if there's one thing I love, it's stories. Cool stories, amazing stories, funny stories, incredible stories. I live vicariously through every human being in the world. Nance, you?
Yeah.
Okay, good
I love
answer.
stories.
Good answer. All right, our guest this week, good friend, comedian, Paul Lucie. What's up, my man?
Kevin, Nancy, guys, thank you so much. Dude, when you offered me to come onto this podcast, first of all, I didn't even know what a podcast was until you actually asked me. I work back in radio. I remember, there's microphones involved, and you have to try to entertain people for long periods of time. And I just thought that was the greatest compliment anyone ever gave me in the 4 years I've been doing comedy, man.
Dude.
So thank you. I felt really humbled and
4 years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Nancy. Is that long? Is that short? I don't know nowadays. Like, there's so many comedians, out there. I mean, obviously people that have been doing it for a long time, but
man.
I just thought I told you last night, dude, this was the biggest gig of my life. So that's how I got to approach it,
Everything's off limits. He said everything's on limits. I've never heard that before. I'm excited for this. We have on limits Paul.
Yeah.
You know what, Nancy, I like to think I'm always on. I feel like I have to be, But I think that's the whole part of coming on here. It's like there's no restrictions, no censorship. Like, we could just talk about whatever, and, I have absolutely no problems disclosing anything, as long as it's beneficial to the show.
Well, you're in the right place.
So.
No one can see me, but I'm dancing my ass off.
Like, dude, we're in the office right now. I felt like we're walking in, I'm like, dude, where are we? Like, this actually sort of reminded me back, like, my radio days.
Yeah.
Like, when I worked in radio. But I'm like, wait a minute.
Tell us about that, man. When did you work in radio?
When I first moved out to Arizona, it was from 95, 96 to 2000. So I did promotions and some on-air work for KSLX, KDKB, and KUPD.
Oh, wow.
And that was probably, the first time I thought that, hey, maybe doing stand-up comedy, would be a fun thing. I mean, I was a pup. I was green. I didn't know anything. I was late teens, early 20s. You're a fucking kid at that point, So, but my radio days, Kevin, Nancy, that was just being so young and just being spoiled with all these riches. You're on air, you're talking to, you're just talking out there to the ether, and there's just hundreds of thousands of people listening and just setting up broadcasts and doing live remotes from concerts and, fucking partying with rock stars and fucking smoking fucking meth with listeners and getting fucking head in the van. It was just, it's just like, I'm looking back and it's like there's a lot of fucking young comedians. I'm like, dude, I was doing the most worst shit to the fucking American public before these guys even had fucking hair on their balls. And it's like, and you're a young kid and you get spoiled, and it's like, it's weird when you kind of have your 15 minutes at a very, very young age, because then you realize, holy shit, you got the fucking rest of your life, to deal with, looking back on it. But
where are you from?
Originally, I'm from New York.
That's right. I knew that.
I grew up in a town called Yorktown Heights. It was probably about a little bit more than an hour north of the city. It was in the suburbs. It was a tremendous place to live.
Yeah.
I was even spoiled back then, because I was, a train ride away from one of the greatest cities on earth,
For sure.
And being exposed to, even though I was not exposed at the time because I was still in the suburbs, but just going to a city like that and just seeing, what life really is like is, an eye-opening experience, and it's just weird, like taking field trips and going to see a play on Broadway. Or going to like the Museum of Natural History, little things like that. You just kind of take,
cool.
you take for granted at the time, Kevin. But you look back and you're like, wow, that was really special.
Yeah,
you're really fortunate.
So you grew up there?
Yeah.
Right?
I graduated. I graduated high school at 17. Moved out here. My mom and I did. We had some family already out here from Long Island. My aunts and uncles and cousins, and we moved out here. Went to MCC. For a year, got my grades back up because I was always a terrible student, and then went to ASU and was working there, going to school, just working at the college radio station for a little bit, and that's kind of was my first introduction into any sort of radio or entertainment or whatsoever, and just saw a little flyer one day, and it was cool. Did a little production stuff for them and promotion stuff, so that was a really cool way to get college started. And then just met some wonderful friends and just had this wonderful job. And it's like, my college experience was fucking amazing.
Was it?
Absolutely fucking amazing. Like, I wish I applied myself, my studies a little bit more. But you know what? I was fucking working full time, and I had to do that to put myself through school. I was working fucking 50 hours a week.
Wow.
I'd wake up, particularly the last fucking, last 2 years, junior and senior year. I'd wake up at fucking 4:30 in the morning, be down in fucking Guadalupe at KUPD at 5 a.m., work till fucking 10 o'clock in the morning, 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, go to school for a couple of classes, come back to the station in the afternoon to do another, little live promotion or truck stop, and then come back and, try to do whatever fucking homework I could or not, just get fucking high and
Right.
drunk and just,
Wing
hang out with my
Just wing
friends
it.
because, dude, I was completely inebriated for the end. I can't even say that word, inebriated, for the entire time I was at school.
Hey, I had a conversation with someone not long ago, and we were talking about what classes in college were the easiest. And for me, I like to talk. I can tell you do too. And I would just kind of get fucked up and take my public speaking classes. And there would be people in class who would like just drop it. You don't even have to do homework or prepare or anything. You show up, and if you talk for 3 minutes, you pass.
It's the easiest class.
They don't care what you talk about. They just want to see that you could get up there and talk. And did you experience that?
Actually, Nancy, one of my comm classes, it was public speaking 225. I think I got to be in the class, but there were some speeches where I just fucking bombed. Like, I bombed. Like, we had topics, and I was like, I froze. And
you
it's
were
like,
up
I was
there,
like,
so it doesn't matter.
Yes, yeah. And that's why it's like, some people were hesitant, but it's like, you have to fucking do it. And it was just like, that was probably the first time I realized, okay, you're up there, you're publicly speaking, and you're getting like a negative reaction. Like, that's stone silence, and you're just not articulating your idea properly, and you're forgetting shit. And it's like, wow, it's that first moment of stage fright, but you
Right.
get past that, and then everything kind of becomes gravy.
Right.
And
then
after
you
that.
kind of like having this out-of-body experience, and you just realize that you did a 5-minute speech. You have no clue what you said, but for some reason you passed the class, so it couldn't have been that bad.
I remember I took public speaking, and public speaking for me has always been easy. So I was like, finally, a class I'm going to get an A in. And I took it with two friends of mine. One was good at it too, and the other friend had never. He's quiet. He never talks. So I was like, this is going to be interesting. But everybody knew we were friends. We sat together. We hadn't done a
Right.
speech yet. I think the first day was just like, hey, this is what we do, whatever. And then everybody had to give a speech, but he waited till the very end. So it had been like 4 classes before he could go. So everybody definitely knew that we were friends and hung out, and that this was our guy. And you're supposed to do like 5 minutes of just talking about you. 35 minutes in, dude, he wouldn't stop talking. Monotone the whole time.
Clue it had been that long.
Everyone was looking at me and my friend like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Left
Like,
his body.
I had no idea, man. But it was it was horrible. It was
I
the
was
worst
gonna
speech
say, was
ever.
it good or no?
It was the worst. He would have gotten a better grade if he didn't show up to class. Like,
Those are the best classes.
But don't you think anytime you have to do anything in class, present anything, you go first, you get it over with. Like, why live with that all day? Why live with that anxiety? And then take it to the next day. Like, don't do it. Just get it over with. Would be my advice.
yeah, and I did that. I would always try
And
to go
then
first.
and then the bar's not set high. Your teacher's grading it. She's just like, oh well, that was.
Well,
That's a solid C at least.
Yeah.
Possibly a
But,
B if you did fairly
but
well.
They always
people
do-
that went before you were incredible. Like that may bump your grade down. So
Yeah, but then if they did good, you look at them like, all right, so that's how you do it. That's how you get that good grade.
Yeah.
Teachers were always like, first person to go gets bonus points. I'm like, well, my speech isn't very good, so here we go.
Let's get that extra credit right there. I get to do that before I actually get to give my speech. Perfect, not after. Even better.
Do I get even more extra
You get the
credit?
fucking point spread. It's perfect. The over and under.
So, Paul, you have so many stories, and I don't even know where to start. I mean, I guess we're talking about college.
Yeah, I mean, dude, ask me. I mean, college. I mean, dude, ask me anything. I mean, Kevin asked me fucking
your
anything.
radio career sounded pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was. It was, Nancy. It was weird because like I first started, and it was when I was actually working at the ASU radio station is when I saw that KSLX had a promotions assistant position, and I was fucking 19 years old. I was
That sounds
kid.
fun now.
It was. Well, scary part is I'm not actually making much more money now than I did back then. Just.
But what a cool
fucking
job
with
in
that.
college.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
dude. It was. Dude, I actually, I had a radio moniker when I was on the air. Like, I didn't go by Paul Lucie. Like, no one knew what my name was as I was on the radio, particularly when I was at KUPD.
What were you?
Okay, you ready for this?
Here we go.
Part of me want to make you guess, but I'm gonna say the claw.
No.
Yeah. I would've
Yes,
never
the claw.
guessed
The
that.
claw. I was gonna
Yeah.
like a bear,
See,
but
I
it's a
did-
bear claw.
I did like the stepdad
there's all
version.
yeah, this,
You're afraid of the claw.
There's all different types of claws,
Santa.
Yeah,
Claws.
bear, which that's what is actually a tattoo of on my
Oh,
chest.
cool.
And
A bear claw?
Yes.
Is it tearing through your
No,
skin?
no, I wish. That'd be pretty cool. It's
Okay.
just,
I'll say, next time.
it's well, I mean, it's just, it's like Native American symbolicism and all that shit. But half the tattoos I fucking it says, half the fucking tattoos I have on my body, I think I know what they fucking mean. And I'm like, this is fucking great. I'm trying to be this fucking cool fucking Jack Kerouac kid in fucking college, doing all this Eastern hippie dippy bullshit, thinking, this is gonna be fucking cool. And now I look at myself as a 38-year-old man. I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Yeah.
You asked me where I got, I could barely fucking remember, let alone the fucking, what it means.
Yeah, I know. My 10-year-old daughter came home writing the yin and yang song sign. Mom, look at this cool thing. Have you seen this before? A little bit, yeah. No, you tell me.
But Kevin, Nancy, I was, when I was I promoted, today on Facebook, I was going to be, on the podcast, and there were people from my radio days that saw this. And we're like, dude, go get him, Claw. You know what I mean? Things like that. I was like, dude, how fucking cool is that?
That is so rad.
And I was like, all right. It's like they're excited. It's like, I'm actually really excited to hear what this sounds like, man. Because if I get any fucking material out of this, it's going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be, more than worthwhile.
Oh, dude. But, one thing, I love doing stand-up with you because you are so fucking fearless. There's shows, man, where I laugh where you go, you have a set plan, and then you're like, 4 or 5 comics in, and you're like, fuck this, dude. You're like, I'm going at him. I'm just going with hateful shit.
Okay. Kevin, once again, you always outdo yourself, man, because that means so much to me, dude. It does. Well, because you actually like what I do, and then no, because it does, because Nancy, honestly, because I really think there's some comedians here in Phoenix that generally don't fucking like me because of the type of comedy that I do, let alone the person that I am.
Well, tell me a little bit about what's your style.
No, I mean, Kevin was like, I enjoy being aggressive. I enjoy being fearless. I like being able to throw parts of my set completely out the fucking window and just either riff on what took place earlier or riff with the crowd or do some fucking crowd work, and I like when there's that reciprocity between, when...
What gets you to that point when you don't get audience,
it completely changes my performance. Oh, absolutely. I will go from the highest of high to the complete lowest of low and not giving a fuck. I mean... Last night was a perfect example of that. And not to be a fucking asshole, but, it was just like I left there like I fucking robbed a bank. That's and I hate having that feeling when I do shows now because I enjoy doing shows with you and other like-minded comedians who we actually generally like each other as human beings, but we also like our comedy as well, and we're really supportive of each other, which as much as the comedy scene's a giant fucking circle jerk right now, it's nice to have some camaraderie at times, Kevin
says that too.
Yeah,
Nice to see that.
yeah, it is. It's like I think you have to have both. It can't be fucking one-sided all the time. You need to have both kind of attitudes and points of view to make things work, and keep things kind of fair.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting show last night, man.
Well, dude, I left it. I didn't even get to see your set.
Yeah,
how'd it go?
Not well. Well, here's the thing. I've done the set that I did last night. I've done twice prior at the same club on the same night, and the 2 previous times it killed. So I was like, this is the showcase now, so I'm going to do that. But by the time I went up, the way they split the show up, I didn't get up till after 9, and the comics right before me or a couple before me walked half the room. So then it was like, all right, now there's nobody really here, and they've died out of comedy. And I can't really blame it on that. I still got a few laughs, and I actually videotaped and I watched it back, and I was like, this is terrible. But it was still the same material. So I'm like, what the fuck? What did I do wrong? And I see what I did wrong. But it still should have been that shitty. I mean, but still some funny jokes in there. But yeah, it was just a weird situation, I think, at that point, because the crowd was just kind of bowing out at that point.
Because it got late, or?
No, I think there was a weird malaise overall of the fucking night.
It was the whole night.
Just the way the show started. But Kevin, I mean, you've done beyond your due diligence with that venue, and you're actually going to be performing there later in the month. So, I mean, that's that's good, dude. That makes last night fucking worthwhile. It does.
Yeah.
It does. You know what I mean? Because, not that you need to, have any sort of entitlement, but it's like, dude, honestly, when you work hard and you pay your fucking dues, and particularly when, there's some sort of, particularly at any venue, you know what I mean? And particularly a legitimate club, and you put your time in, it's like, yeah, man, you should be fucking rewarded for it.
Yeah.
And as many times as you do some, bad sets or just, and like, dude, honestly, Valona, Brian told me fucking last night, dude, that crowd was disattached. Yeah. You know what I mean? And Nancy, that's exactly what it felt like to me. And it's like, my comedy, I need
feedback.
I need feedback, whether it's positive or negative, because that's what I feed off of. Something like, dude, I'm throwing shit out there. Throw shit back at me. You know what I mean? And then, I could fucking see how the set goes, and if I want to do fucking my own shit or just fucking have fun with it.
It reminded me of a story. I was at a bachelorette party years ago.
Go on.
And I don't usually tell personal stories, but we were way younger than I am now, and we were drinking like crazy and karaokeing, like the most. She
was 13, man.
Obnoxious.
I have no idea.
Think of the most obnoxious group of girls you can think of. And then we were going back to a house, and a stripper was coming. We're all so excited. Someone's like, "Let's eat pot brownies." I'm like, "Let's do it." By the time the stripper got there, we were so high, like faces melting, so no one could move. The poor stripper is like stripping his ass. He was incredible. Like, the man's body,
he's doing a good job.
The guy's body was like nothing I've ever seen. He's got the cop thing spanking all of us. We're so high.
It was my last night of work.
Nobody could even give the guy like, just here's my wallet, just take it and go. Like, and the poor guy's like, what is wrong with me? And we were just all so high.
That's probably even more humiliating than like the bomb, because
it wasn't
Gary
the
was.
guy's fault. We all felt bad, but we were just like, "Oh God, I'm too high for this. Like, this is just."
So you really thought the pot brownies were a good idea before some hot gay guy was going to come over and dance for you?
It was the first and last time I've ever done that. Ever.
Pot brownies fucking knock your socks off more so than fucking doing anything else.
I was like 20. I had no clue.
Wow. Listen to this one.
But this stripper, what did we do to his self-esteem? Like, he was great.
You actually probably turned him straight after that show.
Oh, I hope. He was great. You're out there. Keep stripping. You were incredible.
No, you could.
God, he had a good name.
All right, I'll go back into stripping.
Stripper name too.
So when we were,
Sorry.
I think when I was a junior or senior, did Harrison Ford die?
I hope not.
Dude, I
just got a message on my phone. Something about
it.
Sorry. Yeah. So, what a weird transition. So, junior, senior in high school, a friend of ours says, "Hey, my dad is getting us a stripper. So, I want to invite all the guys over, and this girl's coming over to strip." So, we were like, "All right, cool." Like, we'd never been to a strip club or nothing, so this is pretty awesome. We get there, there's like 25 guys, and then the woman shows up, and we just sit on the couch. 25 guys, like, next to each other, not talking. We don't know how to act, like, nothing. I could only imagine the woman's thought of, like, this is my life. This is 25 18-year-olds where the father paid.
But you were still in high school at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she was probably thrilled because you didn't know what to do with her.
Was that the first time you dealt with a male stripper at the age of 20?
First time.
Okay. Because, as guys, we deal with strippers in high school, I think. Well, no, just in terms of,
our teachers, half of them, trying to make that money.
Yeah, keep the lights on.
Either, someone coming over or going out, to a particular club,
So the girl finally gets to work. She does a good job. But she wore, 4 pairs of underwear. So she'd take off, and the next one would be smaller. And she'd take that off, the next one would be smaller.
She didn't know if you'd be playing that poker game.
But she threw it at us. Each one she took off, she'd throw it into the 25 guys. And it's so funny the whole time. Everyone's silent, but everyone's got a pillow on their lap. So
was she hot?
Yeah, from what I can remember, she was. Yeah, I mean, she wasn't not good looking. So then afterwards, she goes to collect her things, and she's like, "I'm missing a pair of underwear." We're like, I mean, you had 1,000 of them on. I don't know what to tell you. So she starts yelling and screaming and going at the dad, like, "You owe me $50
for underwear."
Yeah. yelling. She's like, if I don't get him right now, one of you fuckers, like, going crazy on us. And I'm just like, I didn't steal it. I mean, dude, I still haven't gotten it from the couch. There's nothing I can do.
The pillow's still there.
Someone toss them around.
She ended up, like, just being really mad and just got her stuff and left. And the second the car pulls away, my friend goes, check out what I got. Right? So he stole them. Same friend that also, when we went to a restaurant with 10 people, we all walked out, and he just took the cash off the check, walked outside, and handed it back to everybody. Like an hour later, we're like, dude, what a fucking idiot. What's it say?
Harrison Ford was in a plane crash, and he is stable. Stable condition after a plane crash.
All right.
Like a horse in the stable.
Well, by the time this comes out,
He's got
we'll
the
know better.
force. So, you know.
Okay. So, yeah, that friend, he's such a good guy.
Are you still friends with him?
Yeah, we don't hang out or talk.
Because there's always those buddies like that you grow up with, dude, that are just.
That.
Well, I think you can to a certain degree.
As long as he did it, I didn't give a shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, fucking, onus ain't gonna fall back on you, man. That's that's all on him. If he wants to be a fucking jackass, go right ahead.
All right, so Paul, you're at the radio station.
Yes.
You're 19. You've got one of the coolest jobs for a 19-year-old to have, and it's 3 radio stations.
Well,
at once?
well, it was and then it was 2, and then it was 1. You know, went from like KSLX to KSLX, KDKB, KUPD, KDKB, KUPD, then KUPD, pretty much for my last 2 years.
Okay.
You know, and that's when I was on the morning show and doing promotions and shit in the afternoon and at night. But
so
you know,
tell me. Let's get into some stories.
Yeah, no, look, dude, let's
I don't
do
even
it,
know how to
dude.
get into this. Let's
ask
crack
me.
open a beer, man, and let's
Let me
get
finish
into
this
some
one.
stories. I don't even know how to ask him, man. You
What?
go, and then we'll flow.
Well, no, you got. I mean, I feel weird because I almost feel like I'm, being completely narcissistic right now.
Not at all.
Completely
That's why
talking
you're
about
here.
myself.
That's
No,
why
I know,
you're
and which.
We're
I'm
all
appreciative because it completely feeds
so-
into that,
Okay,
to
so
that
you-
shallowness
You started
of
when
me.
you were 19, right? So you
Yeah.
Like,
So, essentially, once I graduated college, there was what made me move back to New York, back to Brooklyn, was there was a promotions director position open at KSLX, and it was the first station I started at, and I would have been taken over for one of my buddies at the time, who I worked with for a few years, and everyone at KUPD was telling me, Paul, go for it. It's like, we try to get you a raise as you can, but this would be a full-time gig, more money, you're qualified, you're deserving, fucking do it. And it was like the first time where it's like I really felt kind of, some adulation, from my coworkers and people that are older than me and recognized, my hard work and, interviewed the position with the old GM at the time. And they actually wound up giving the morning show to like a fired intern or an intern of a fired morning show. Like there was a fucking duo, a fucking,
right.
Cock and balls, whatever the fucking those guys' names are. You know what I mean? It's like
the morning zoo.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Just a really fucking very cliche type shit. And that they gave it to some fucking intern that, it's like, come on, man. I fucking busted my ass for you for all this time. That was the first time where it's like, as much as I was having a good time, like, working in music, and obviously I was still on my fucking high horse at that point, you know what I mean? I was an idealist, Nancy, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like when we were talking before the podcast and all that shit, at that time, it's like, I was, really thinking, oh, the fucking world is mine.
Right, it just gets better from 19.
Yeah, it's like
you
oh,
hadn't
dude.
had your...
Yeah, it's like...
your hits yet.
It's like, if this isn't my peak, wait till I fucking move back to New York
Right.
and pursue my fucking career in the music industry. I'm gonna fucking make it, man, And it's
So
like,
are you a
I
musician
became,
as well?
what's that?
Are you a musician as well?
No, well,
Okay.
horrible one. But I mean,
Okay.
it's
He plays the microphone.
yeah,
He sucks at it. Doesn't know where the on-off switch is.
but that's when I moved back, to New York, and it felt good to be able to like actually move back to my home state and particularly live
All right, so
in the city.
Who was the first person you partied with that you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm partying with this person?
Oh,
and what did you do?
First time it was the Tubes, Phoenix band, local fucking heroes here in Phoenix. It was at KSLX. I think it was at. No, actually, fucking no. Let me go back. It was fucking Eddie Money at the Ostrich Festival in Chandler when he fucking gave a shout out to KSLX.
No.
You know what I mean? And my buddy was like, the guy that I was working with was like, oh, dude, that was fucking cool.
Did
I
he
was
give
like,
you
that
2
was cool.
tickets?
But he signed that. But dude, I remember, but the first like people that I actually met was fucking Edgar Winter. Like he had a band, and I literally like it was downtown by the fucking Sun Devil Stadium. And it was before the whole fucking Tempe Beach Park and all that shit. It was behind behind a little bit A Mountain where all the fucking solar panels are. Right now across where Packer Stadium or where the Packer Stadium is. Where the fuck it's
baseball
called.
stadium.
And it's no longer being occupied, I don't think. But there was Edgar Winter. They were playing this festival, like Carvin Jones, like the local fucking blues guy that's still around. He was playing there. It was some local bullshit festival, and like they didn't have the proper credentials to go get food. So I had to get like Edgar Winter and his band like plates of fucking chicken and like macaroni and cheese so they could eat. And I'm like, this is fucking, I think this is hilarious. The fact that someone like this classic rock stature can't go get a fucking free meal, and here I am, some fucking punk ass kid giving it to him, and taking photos and stuff and. That was just amazing. It's like I met, a lot of my fucking, just really a lot of great classic fucking rock idols,
Yeah.
And then to be able to meet more, musicians, in New York, particularly for the different record labels I worked with and some of their artists and just fucking heavyweights, whether it was jazz or fucking punk, or hip hop and, world music. And, it was just, it's between the ages of 19 and 30, musically, I was just completely spoiled and blessed and fortunate to that it's completely fucking changed my point of view and my outlook and just overall disposition and attitude towards the music industry right now. It's like, I won't pay for a fucking show. I won't download any fucking music. I won't pay a goddamn fucking penny for any fucking... Not that I fucking take shit. Don't get me wrong. That's not it. It's like, I'll listen to my fucking Pandora, go on fucking YouTube and do things the normal way because, and that was another thing I always got fucking pissed off at, Nancy, is, particularly when the fucking whole music kind of shifted into the digital age and being able to get music, online and people this thinking that they could just get whatever they fucking want. And artists not being, compensated for that. But that's a whole fucking argument altogether, and I'm just completely going off on a tangent. So
no, dude, you're great.
I apologize.
Who's the? I kind of want to go in chronological order with stories, like starting off the radio station, and you're doing your thing, and then you move back to New York.
Okay, we'll start there. Okay. I actually moved back to Brooklyn, which. It's the coolest place on earth.
Brooklyn is?
Yeah, it is.
Brooklyn Dodgers.
It's originally, yeah.
Love the Dodgers.
Yep. My mom used to go to Ebbets Field.
No way.
Back in the day, yeah. My grandfather used to take her and my her older sister and brother to Ebbets Field all the time.
So cool.
So so there was a lot of lineage. Granted, I didn't live in the same neighborhoods as they did, but it was just it was really cool to be able to go back. I felt like I was kind of going back home, but I lived in a neighborhood called Greenpoint in Brooklyn. It's the most northern neighborhood in Brooklyn. There's like a river, I forget what the fuck it is. It's some fucking Pollock name. And then and then you go into Queens, Long Island City. But I lived in a Polish neighborhood. Greenpoint's all Polish. The first language I heard every single morning was Polish. I learned a little bit of Polish, but not nearly enough that I should have.
You couldn't order a bagel.
Well,
Say good morning in Polish. Polak.
I can't. I'm a fucking idiot, man. It goes back to my tattoos.
Polish tattoos.
Dzień dobry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good, how are you? It's like, dziękuję. Have a good day. Things like that. So that little things like that I remember.
You can get in and out of a little store.
Right.
And Ken, that's all I want to do is get in and out, baby. And it was, still my mantra this fucking day. But I lived above a funeral home, and across the street from a Polish Catholic church, like this. Yeah, it was Saint Stanislaus. So
how many of your cabinets just opened and shut without anybody around?
Well, it was... Dude, it would be weird because I would see caskets being moved in, and I would see just people, even on gurneys, and the guy's fucking sneakers would be dangling off the fucking end of the gurney as they're fucking being wheeled in to the... Well, dude, there would be times where...
Your duplex just opened up.
They're quiet.
Well, and that's where it's like it was a good thing because at that death is always it's like fucking water off a duck's back. It's like dealing with death is always something that you just always deal with. So seeing these dead bodies just very close was just kind of commonplace, in a way. But there would be times where my landlady would ask me to go downstairs into the fucking parlor and like help move fucking dead bodies, and just because maybe one of the guys needs help or someone wasn't there, and it was just like, all right, yeah, Rita, I'll fucking do it. And dude, sometimes I would have been up on a fucking bender, like literally just nodded and slept for fucking 2 days.
You weren't even sure if it happened.
Well, no, maybe they were going to move me in the fucking casket, but like things.
Don't trip.
Did it smell horribly?
No. That's how I got actually hooked on smoking formaldehyde. Yeah, no, it's a hell of a drug.
Whoa. Hold the brakes.
Where there was a cadaver, and it was really gross.
That's how you got hooked on smoking.
Or huffing, one of the two.
I don't know anything about drugs, man. So you would move dead people, and that got you hooked on a drug.
Well, I lived there for fucking nearly. Well, dude, the fucking fumes would just fucking drift up, dude. It
Right.
the whole building, like looking back on it, had a fucking.
To get addicted.
Everyone was fucking high. No, it was like there was always that, dude. There would be times where I would do the most heinous, stupidest shit, and it was always
why.
but it was always forgiven. Like, I nearly fucking burned the entire goddamn building, and I had firemen breaking into my apartment because I was fucking burned pierogies.
Cremation.
And, like, banging down the fucking alarms going off, completely disrupting the fucking neighborhood. And then my landlady, like, Paul, and I told her what I was. I was like, Rita, I was at a Blur concert with my friends. We were drinking, smoking. I didn't eat anything. I was making some fucking pierogies. And they fucking wound up burning at the bottom of the pan.
Nice.
What's a pierogi?
Pierogi's like a fucking Polish ravioli. Like, it's filled with like potatoes, cheese, sauerkraut.
Sounds
great. Oh, they're delicious. They're very tasty.
Have you touched a dead body? Would you help a little old lady move a dead body?
No. I just
not?
wouldn't be home.
Well,
I would.
Yeah. You
Look.
wouldn't answer.
Yeah, apartment living for me when I lived in one was it was windows, shades shut, door closed. Nobody knows I'm home.
Right.
I don't want to be bothered ever.
They keep showing your unit like it's empty.
Yeah,
Hey,
they would show up. They're like, and I think there's some dead guy in bed
Right.
still. I don't know,
It
but
doesn't smell yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't move a lot.
then they close the door and I dance around nude. I won. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I'd be creeped out probably.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Sure. I mean, I
Really?
took an anatomy
Like-
class, and that was pretty intense. And people were always like, I can't go in. Like, why are you taking the class? It's a dead body. Like, it's what the class is based
I
on.
don't know, man. I don't know. Because I wouldn't know the person, so I guess there's no connection until you.
My
I
connection
don't
is that they're
do.
dead, and like that's enough. No touching.
So what do you?
Yeah,
You
but-
would move, and what did you do?
They were
Like,
cold, right?
Well,
That's
yeah,
what
I mean,
mean.
sometimes the guy was in a fucking suit. The guy was wearing nicer fucking clothes than I was. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was about to fucking steal the guy's
And
shoes.
were there any
It's
like, you could say like this guy was definitely murdered? Like you knew this one was foul play.
No, it wasn't like I was on the fucking
They were
crime
on-
scene. I had no
right.
idea how the guy died. The
I
fucking
know, but even if they
CSI.
like sew his neck back together, or whatever. Like, did you ever?
As a matter of fact, the guy didn't have a head. You know, it's
Well, it's easier to move.
know.
But, yeah, I think that could be a no for me. No
Really?
bodies. Yeah. No,
I don't know.
think
It's
so.
in a way, like if I could work,
You're a
and I
nice
know
guy.
it was very.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's how I give back to society.
There you
Is
go.
helping,
you
the
move dead people.
You know, I move dead people. I'm Italian. It's in our
no
fucking blood. That's what we do.
hauntings. Nothing freaked you out at
you know
night?
what? At
Nothing kept
times,
you up?
at times, I thought.
scared.
No. At times, I thought like there was some sort of paranormal fucking activity. But looking back on it, I think there was just light switches that people would turn on and off. And maybe like I would be gone for 1 second, and then all of a sudden I would see a fucking light in the hallway on. But chances are is maybe someone living, in one of the other apartments or people coming into the business downstairs.
Okay.
But there was times where
Probably not.
but honestly, there was times where it's like I really felt that something,
But
something's
you
going
weren't
on
worried
here.
about that. You're on hallucinogenics
Oh,
anyways.
dude,
Right.
and I was a complete fucking drug addict. I mean, a raging
So,
fucking
and
drug
then
addict.
on top of that, like, did you have friends over a lot? Like, did you kind of make sure you weren't in your apartment alone? That's what I would.
No.
do.
I Nancy, I love being alone.
Oh.
I
do now.
there is well, yeah, because you get fucking children. That's
Right.
why.
I'll go to the movies by myself. I don't care.
It's like, that's your escape.
Table for
I
one,
understand
yep.
that. I've been escaping my entire fucking life.
That's a
But
trip.
is it-
I mean, that's definitely.
And I
something
forgot I
I've
was
never
talking about something before I went on a tangent, but you asked a question. I did have a point, and I completely forgot.
Something.
So.
You moved back to
Yes.
Brook.
No. We've
Keep moving.
established
Keep
that.
moving.
No, I'm trying. I want to try to get back, but I'm going to
Moving
fucking
dead people, paranormal activity.
Yes, paranormal activity. There was something else after that.
Lights being on,
Well,
off. You never know who it could be.
You tell us what happened next. I
Like,
feel like this is like-
and I said I was a raging drug addict, and
Yeah.
you said the hallucination.
Oh, and you talked about smoking formaldehyde, and then
Yes,
you were,
yes.
because
Yes,
there was
yes.
dead bodies, right?
Yes, and then that's kind of where I kind of fade out.
Cool.
So
Doesn't
I
remember.
apologize. See, yeah.
Wait,
It's just-
what does that do for you? Does
What, the
that,
formaldehyde? Or
Like a
just
methy
what-
type of high, or what?
It is. Yeah, it's
Like a hallucinogenic, or?
It is. No, it's like kind of it's a fucking stimulant. It's a hallucinogenic. It's
Okay.
But it's not like I was literally fucking like doing it, like huffing and huffing. It was just
get on the streets.
no, oh god, no. It's like, I mean, at least the dealers I fucking know, all my dealers were fucking ecstasy, blow, and fucking weed. That's all it was. Dude, if you could do that, you could fucking corner a market right there. Let me tell you, dude. If I could be a formaldehyde dealer, holy shit. It's like, I'm actually going to stop being a comedian and be a formaldehyde dealer. I'm going to find out some cheap, effective way that people could do it. And, you know, maybe it's that's what the kids like nowadays. Don't they like fucking new drugs? It's like, you know, you hear them, like the way they're like ingesting alcohol.
How differently?
How?
Oh, dude, all fucking up their ass, up their fucking twat, all that shit.
Alcohol?
Yes. Like they'll fucking soak a tampon into vodka and fucking shove it up their pussy. You know, little things like that, and other fucking, like shoving shit up your fucking ass, whether it's pills and all this other shit.
Oh, because it's like a mucous membrane. Anything
I don't know.
that's like in your eyes or a gland.
I'm just so used.
A gland.
But
so anal gland.
But I'm just
let's
so used when I ingest drugs is fucking snorting it or smoking it. You know what I mean? It's like
Totally.
I've had 5 colonoscopies. I don't want anything else up my fucking ass.
Whoa,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Exit only.
Yeah, well, it's it. I mean, granted, there's been a lot of entry. It's I know exactly what my intestines look like.
Wow.
That's a whole nother That's a trip in itself.
When did you start getting into drugs?
Oh, at a very early age. I would think probably back in high school we started drinking. Fairly early, probably around 14, 15 years old. And started smoking pot, right after that. And then you started drinking hard alcohol. And then by the time I graduated college, I've done mushrooms and acid. So I was already exposed to, tripping your balls off and some hard shit and feeling what, like, coming down is like and all that stuff. And
What's
then,
your favorite drug to this day?
Of all time?
Yeah.
I would say...
Advil.
Aleve. I would say mushrooms when I was younger. Like, when I was a fit pup, like, when I could just fucking hang and run around. Mushrooms, but also some fucking really good cocaine is always a lot of fun, even just a couple of bumps and you fucking smoke some pot and have some beers and go out there with friends and you're doing shit.
I love how that's like talk down. Even when you play it easy.
Even when you're not even doing it, you're just doing bumps, just rubbing it on your mouth.
No, yeah. Oh. Sorry.
You're fine, dude. You're a pro. You're a pro.
I'm a pro. I didn't look like a fucking pro right there. But no, but it's like, cocaine sucks is when you're just fucking doing a ton of it and you get fucking all cracked out. Next thing you know, it's 7 o'clock in the morning and you feel like shit for 2 days. Like, I can't do that anymore. No way. It sucks. I hate feeling that way. When you're younger, you don't mind it. Not at all, What? No. What do you say? No, everything's fine.
Man, so you can talk.
Talk. You're allowed to. I apologize.
I'm trying to do sign
that's fine.
language.
Everything's good. It's not. My jeans are stained, not the carpet.
Okay.
And if I have to shampoo it, I understand this is your office. I'll do that tomorrow. I apologize.
You're fine.
You're good.
But mushrooms as a youngin, like having a good trip, I think completely gives you a complete different mindset.
What I understand, have you ever had a bad trip where you're just like, that's it, no more mushrooms for me?
No.
Never.
No. Because I think
he hasn't had it yet.
Well, don't get me wrong. There's been times where I'm tripping my face off. I'm with my buddies, my best friends, and we're at someone's house, so it's all kind of quarantined and confined. You know what I mean? We're not going to deal with any outside shit. But there'll be times where I'll just fucking fucking pull an Irish exit and just wander off, which you're prone to do on mushrooms, and I have a story about that too. But
say it, dude. Don't say it now.
Oh, dude,
I'm so excited.
But there'll be times where I'll just completely sequester myself, like in a bathroom, and just stare at myself in the fucking mirror, and completely be introverted and separate myself from the group because it's like, all right, I'm tripping hard. Maybe I can't deal with fucking outside life, and I just need to kind of give myself an hour or two just to be isolated. But then there's times where I would fucking trip my balls off, and I would, I'd be in a complete foreign place, and I would have the fucking time of my life because I was completely uninhibited. Like, more so than anything else, probably. More so than any other fucking drug. Mushrooms, I think, makes you, or at least made me, the most uninhibited. Not that I was fucking running around being a swigging dick or anything, but like the confidence, but my confidence level, was just at an all-time high.
I gave a toast at a wedding on mushrooms once.
Really?
That's amazing. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. I want to, Nancy, I want to do, because I love giving wedding toasts. So the fact that, it's...
That's why I did the mushrooms.
It's one of my things. So why? Why did you...
Because I just didn't want to... I was just so stressed out.
Were you nervous?
Out. Yeah.
But you're tripping at a fucking wedding.
Right. That
I
helps.
have never the audacity to do that.
That helps.
That's fucking amazing.
It was her wedding.
Now that makes complete sense.
That was not.
Whose wedding was it?
It was my sister-in-law's.
Well, how?
Shit.
Yes.
Fine.
Hey, why were you not supposed to divulge that? Oh, come
Well,
on.
no. I mean, she knew. I told her years later.
Did you see like any sort of like video or anything of the speech? Do you remember it at all?
Oh, God, the video was just. I thought I was incredible, and I was doing like, and the video says that girl's fucked up, but she's having a good time. Like, it was great. There was some dancing that just can't be explained. And the videographer knew, like, focusing on her. Like, that girl is this is what we want to see.
Were the maid of honor?
Yeah.
A maid of honor tripping on mushrooms. Like
Right.
that hasn't been done in any sort of comedic genre.
This is the
in
first
terms
time
of-
I've ever said
no.
it out loud,
Oh,
so-
I feel privileged and honored that I can actually coax
who
that
knows
information
who listens to this?
out of you. That's fucking beautiful. So, patent pending right here on the podcast. That in some sort of sketch, comedy scenario, what have you. Because I think that'd be fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Kudos
It
to
was
the unions.
hilarious. And oh, God.
I wouldn't have the balls to do that.
So, Paul, you love giving wedding toast speeches.
Oh, yeah.
So do I.
Yeah. Really?
But only because I like talking into microphones.
Yeah, but Kevin, don't.
You get a
but
captive
Kevin, no, but
audience.
you know though. But that's honestly that's what it is too. I think it's having that captive audience where you could be completely yourself and be funny and poignant, and depending on who's getting married, it's like it's a very very emotional type event. So you could really just showcase a complete another side of you at times. You know what I mean? And it's a different type of audience, but like being, doing stand-up to me is very cathartic. You know what I mean? And I think giving toasts at weddings is that, because maybe it's one of your dear friends or someone, a family member that, all right, this is actually really, really special and meaningful to me.
Yeah.
And you wanna fucking give them the best toast you can.
I feel like when people do a good job,
that's great.
you really don't remember. But when people do a bad job for
Yeah.
some reason, it sticks out. You're like, oh, that was terrible.
Well, but another thing is like, when you have a good set, right, and you get off stage and someone that you might not know or just maybe met prior to the show just gives you a handshake and says, "Great job, man. That was awesome." And
Some guy did it to me last night. I was like, you don't know comedy, man.
and that means the fucking world.
He was just
to
like,
you.
I didn't want you to
So-
quit.
yeah,
I didn't want you to give up. It was terrible. You're right. But I just want to see you keep going.
Oh, he got it before I got off stage, made it like 3 rows back, and he was already meeting me with a handshake. It's like, dude, you're so funny. That was so
He just
good.
didn't want you to give up.
Like, all right, man, why weren't
He's
you
that
laughing?
turning point in your life where you're like, this is it, no more. And he was the guy who kept you going.
So what was your favorite wedding toast?
Oh, man, I don't know. Because I've given some where I'm not in the bridal party or anything.
It's like, wait, get out of my way.
Yeah.
I'll take this.
Yeah, a couple of friends of mine got married in Chicago, and their reception was in the John Hancock building, the 96th floor of the John Hancock building. Now, I'm super scared of heights. And the windows, I mean, it's like you can go up, you can put your body on the window and just look out to all of Chicago. And so it took me till I got drunk to be able to do that, because I just stood in the middle of the floor. Like, dude, I can feel the building swaying. I don't like this whole feeling.
Oh, you can't.
But there was a microphone in the corner of the room, in between, like the corner of the windows, all that shit. And I was like, dude, is that mic on? I was doing stand up at this time, so I was like, I'm gonna have some fun. So I was talking to a couple friends, and I said, dude, should I just get on the microphone and talk? Like, I don't know. And they're like, fuck, do it, man, do it. I'm like, I don't want to ruin their wedding, but dude, I still want my stage time. So
Right. It's all about
Dude, you're the original wedding crasher at that point, dude.
So I did. I grabbed the microphone. I got over my fear and stood right on the board. I mean, dude, in my head, I'm like, this plate of glass moves, we're all gone.
Right.
Like, I'm just falling out the window with a mic in my hand. What a way to go.
Might as well go out telling jokes.
So I just grabbed the mic. I'm like, excuse me.
I know.
Everybody, can I get your attention?
It's like,
Stop the first dance. Stop the.
Yeah. So this is so corny. They had been dating for like 10 years before they got engaged.
So you got a backstory on the entire couple?
Yeah, I mean, I knew him. I knew him for a long, long time. So I said, when Matt said he wanted to get married to his, wife, said, hold on, don't rush into things. And everyone started laughing. It was the hackiest joke ever. Everyone started laughing, and that's all it took. I was like, I'm going to pull a tight 20 right now, dude. Everybody sit down and relax.
Just hook it to my veins.
Yeah, dude.
No, all the guys are like, ha ha, do it. And she's just like, you motherfucker, you ruined my day.
Oh, it got worse.
You dated me for 10 years.
But that always happens at weddings. You have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Because you've got to be prepared for someone that wasn't originally going to say something, and then they're going to want to interject because I think in terms of the whole public speaking and comedian whole aspect and just performing and just, giving some sort of presentation, like weddings, for whatever reason, are the most conducive fucking environments.
Everybody's drunk.
Maybe that's what it is, right? It's I don't know. It's is everyone's just emotions?
I'll tell you another one, man. I was in Las Vegas for my other friend's wedding. I have two friends, and they both been married. And so I was there for his wedding. And now this one, I was in the wedding, but you didn't sit at the table. It was just the husband and wife, and then you sit wherever. So the best man and maid of honor gave their speeches, and that was kind of it. And I heard them say, is that it? Like the guy that had the mic, is that it? And we sat like the furthest table away from the bride and groom. So is that it? I mean, like, is there no other maid of honor and
Does
groom,
anyone else
whatever?
object?
Yeah. So I was like, hey, I raised my hand. I'm like, I got something to say. So I sang, "Isn't She Lovely?" I don't even know the words.
Sing?
I sang the first line and then mouthed the rest. I don't know the words. I just thought it was appropriate. Then I started just talking like about marriage, like I knew what I was talking about. And
that's always the best.
Yeah. I'm like, listen here, let me give you some advice. All right?
I'm gonna give it to you straight.
The last time you drank tequila, huh?
Oh, dude, it was. I
it
don't
good,
think.
though?
You know what? I wasn't weering shoes. I took my shoes off and was running
was
around.
at a wedding
I went around the whole room. This big, whatever it's called, the ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking around tables. How you doing, sir? Just
Make them
wait until you hear this next joke coming to
Well,
the
you're like Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack, just like, hey, how's it going?
Parking people's
Put on
cars.
some weight.
I have a good time at weddings. Weddings aren't bad.
Yeah, I always have.
Weddings sometimes.
I always have. Well, it's always on someone else's fucking dime. I mean, granted, there's certain weddings where I've spent thousands of dollars. Well, no, I mean, but
to
like,
be in a wedding is a fortune. It is.
Yeah, I mean,
to participate and buy the outfits and do the parties and fucking a fortune.
well, it's much harder, I think, for women too.
Yeah.
I mean, between having to deal with the ridicule of having
the
to
bridal shower, the bachelorette
and then wearing a
shit,
shitty dress,
the
at
dumb
least,
dress, the stupid shoes. Get your hair done, get your nails done, get your makeup, all that bullshit. Like, I don't want to be here.
Men, we just like, all right, here's a tux.
Eat mushrooms and give a toast.
I might have to try that for the next toast.
I recommend it.
But I'm on such a good wedding toast streak right now. I'm afraid I'll jeopardize it.
Yeah. You know what ruined this streak?
No, I can't. Because I've given a wedding toast in German.
What?
One of my best friends is German, and me and my ex we flew out to Germany.
Wow.
And she recorded it, so I still actually have footage to this day. But I learned, I don't know, it was probably a little over a minute in German.
Wow.
I just gave a quick little toast.
Most of the words were
It's ein, nein, but it killed, dude. Like, And I remember, like, at the beginning, because I didn't have, like, a microphone. I was, like, in this little hall. There was banquet room. It was, like, 60 people on this little lush property in fucking southern Germany. It was totally picturesque. And, I didn't have a microphone, so I just had to kind of just talk like I am right now. Yeah. I was like, can everyone hear me? Should I speak louder? And they laughed, and then boom, I went into it.
Next time I do it, I'm going to bring like a doll, like a ventriloquist, and that's my wedding speech. I'll make the doll say it. Those crazy puppets people put on their arms. Because that would just be so creepy. Like, the people's wedding, they'd be so pissed. And I'll say something else to probably one of my sisters. If I ever have to be in your wedding and you make me fucking do a dance or choreograph a dance down the aisle, I won't do it. Haven't you seen all these on YouTube?
No, you can't choreograph.
Haven't you seen this though?
No,
they're acting like they're all like walking down the aisle, and then they all just like break into dance.
So is it like a little flash mob or Harlem Shake type bullshit?
Flash mob. I won't do it. I don't believe in it. Like, get it over
You know what
with,
you should
right?
do?
Like, don't make this shit last.
Encourage it. and then when they do it, just fucking
But
punch
it's
someone
all
in the face.
choreographed. Everyone in the wedding party knows it.
Yeah, but
This makes things take forever.
break out of the routine and completely disrupt it.
I would do like Thriller, like my own.
That or just
my own
do
style.
something or just take someone's legs out and just just completely sabotage the entire choreograph.
Maybe.
That's at least that's what I would do.
I'm surprised
sorry.
you haven't heard of the choreographed wedding dances.
No,
That's gotta be a
They've
chick.
gotten
It's
out
gotta
of
be a
hand.
chick.
I mean,
It
I
has to
saw
be a chick
one
thing. No,
that did the whole Dirty Dancing scene. With the
that's
patch
awful.
Oh, I tried to do that in the pool one time with this girl. She was heavy. She was, God,
she
Jesus
lift you?
Christ, dude, this is terrifying. God damn it! I was in Vegas again.
That's why they close
Totally
the pool at
different.
10.
Totally
That's a
different.
whole other drug.
Yeah, totally different time there. Oh my God, I was doing comedy there, so I was with a couple comics, and we were at the pool. And it was, I don't even remember what pool it was. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. But in Vegas,
body water could have been a bathtub. I don't know.
in Vegas, during the day, every pool was a pool party. I mean,
Yeah.
there's tons of people. So there were these girls there from Nebraska that were right by us, where we were just kind of hanging out in the pool. One was really good looking. Two were mediocre, and then the other two were like, you're just the token friends. And so one of the token friends...
Duff. Isn't that what
No, one of the comments goes, you should see Kevin dance. He's really good at dancing. I'm not going to lie. I'm all right. So
Well, you got.
but I didn't want to do it either way. And the girl was like, oh, my God, can you do the dirty dancing dance? I'm like, no, that's not like the dancing he's talking about. I'm not 48 years old. So she's like, we're in the pool. Like, dude, let's try the dirty dance thing where you hold me up, you push me up. I was like, how strong do you think I
how
am?
people tip teeth.
Or how thin do you think you are? And so there was a step in the pool that she stood on, and she kind of got a running start and jumped. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. Yeah. So she did it the first time. Nothing, dude. She just fell straight in the water. And I was like, I told you I can do it. She's like, let's try it one more time. I'm like, are you not humiliated enough right now?
Right.
She was like, let's try it enough. I'm like, I don't think my arms can reach your hips. You're so wide. So she got another running start. She jumped up, and literally I flipped her over. She didn't,
Just like,
nothing,
get out.
just, yeah, it was like.
It was a whole new
don't
movie
fucking touch me.
altogether.
Hit her with a
She was
chair.
so embarrassed. But I warned her.
She brought it upon herself, dude.
I warned
that
her.
was that was
So
all her fault.
then, later that night, we do our show. They fucking show up. Didn't know that we didn't even tell them anything about us, nothing.
Right.
They were at the show.
That was actually good keeping your mouth shut about that.
Yeah. So did the show afterwards. She's like, you're a fucking asshole. I didn't tell the story. Like, I kept that between us.
She didn't try like hecking you on stage or anything
Nah,
like that.
no.
That was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, right. It was nice. She's like, "You're a fucking asshole. You should have told me you couldn't." I'm like, "I did, you moron. I can't hold you. You should thank me for doing a justice that I at least tried. What the fuck is wrong with you, lady?" Anyways,
Apparently, a lot of things, dude. She should have.
so anyways, I've been haunted ever since, man. I gotta learn that dirty dancing thing, or how to at least hoist a woman.
Well,
Yeah.
a woman's gonna kill you in the end, Kevin. Just remember that.
Well, just start slow. Remember playing airplane when you were a kid? You lay on your back and
Yeah.
maybe start with that. Like maybe you
I've
and your
done that with
son.
Brayden.
And
yeah.
particularly trying to do like aquatics right off the bat in a
Right, some
relationship.
water
That's
aerobic?
that's
Yeah, but it wasn't even. The problem was it wasn't in the water,
That's steep.
right? It was all outside of the
still,
water.
Right, because start in the water. Because,
Oh God, what an
I'm
asshole
so
that girl was. All right, Paul.
Yes. So I'm just getting fired up right now. So I hope you guys don't mind.
No, dude.
Because there's actually a lot of more shit I want to get off my chest.
Let's go.
A lot of more.
Let's go.
Actually, that was completely fucking dago on my part. I apologize.
So have at it, man.
Goodness, I don't know.
Give me a story.
A story. Okay, so I will say this. Living above a funeral home was across the street from a Polish Catholic church was one of the most surreal experiences I ever had, because the fucking bells would just go off like a few times a day, and it would just be bah, bah, bah. I mean, just all these other different types of fucking
And you'd
bell.
be up, be like, shit, I gotta go to work.
Yeah, I'd either wake me up or I'd still fucking be up, and then you would hear like the fucking priests. Like, this was a huge church, you know, and particularly on the weekends, like, you would have hundreds of people just fucking pouring into it, to the point where they would open up the doors to the church, and people would be outside, just on the steps, and they would kneel on the steps and pray. you know, and you would just hear the fucking Polish fucking mass. And this happened for 7 years, over and over and over again. It was just, it's amazing because I don't have the tolerance for anything anymore. Like, I don't. And I think ultimately that's what probably, like, once I left New York, you know, finally, that's probably what the reason was. But I was just so, I guess, tolerant and just accepting of it that this is the way, this is the way shit's going to be. You know, because when you have a good deal in the city in terms of a rent, a cool-ass landlord, a fun job, your friends, you don't move, you don't do anything. You know, it's like you're in your little fucking personal utopia, you know. And it was just so surreal. And I just remember being times just completely fucking cracked out and just a complete disheveled mess, and just watching, you know, these fucking people have mass
and in your own
and
apartment.
well, dude, and like
leave.
no, Nancy, but like really like sick shit. Like there'd be fucking hot Polish women in their fucking Sunday best kneeling, and I'd be trying to fucking have a half limp dick in my hand, trying to fucking jerk off so I could go to sleep, and I'm hearing all this shit. You know, Tom Waits is blasting the fucking background. You got this fucking Polish priest doing his fucking thing. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck am I doing? You know, but it was like just
completely the opposite here, right?
Well, you know what? It was
lives across the street from a Mormon church.
No,
little different.
It was
quieter.
Well, you know, I think being exposed to living, you know, here in Arizona, you know, after graduating high school, and then seeing what the West was like I didn't know, like, what Arizona was like, and California, and Utah, and Nevada, and Oregon, and Washington. Like, being exposed to just the Southwest and the West and the Northwest is a completely fucking different animal than the Northeast and, like, you know, the East Coast and fucking Florida and all that shit.
Yeah.
You know, it was just, you know, I think part of me leaving New York was I missed space. You know, I missed the warm weather. I missed the sun. I just missed a certain type of laid backness. I mean, because as much as New York's always going to be my home, and I miss parts of it tremendously, I can never go back there. You know, it's like it would take Nancy. It would take the most ideal situation to move back, and it's just so fucking expensive.
Yeah,
you know, and just the pace is completely different. And, you know, I enjoy the overall laid back, you know, lifestyle. And, you know, I never thought I'd be back, you know, here in Phoenix. But I think particularly being, you know, in my late 30s, you know, and I was almost, you know, I was gone for, you know, fucking 16 years practically, you know, and coming back right now, it's like, wow, I really dig being back in Phoenix. You know, I think Arizona's a really cool state. You know, there's a lot of cool little nooks and crannies to it, you know. And if you like to travel and kind of do shit, I think there's always things to kind of keep you active, you know, and doing stuff. But you know,
true. There is a lot of little nooks and crannies.
It's like a fucking English muffin, you know.
Yeah, because there's some weird, boring weirdness out here.
Well, but that's the thing. It's like, well, you could get in your little fucking, you could get stuck in your fucking rut, to quote the fucking darkness, you know, and just, you know, but it's like you could drive in a few hours in any fucking direction, and have a wonderful weekend. Like, that's why, like, going up to Flagstaff, Kevin, last weekend, doing that fucking show at the Hotel Weatherford was just such a tremendous experience. You know, man, it was just
weird.
You know, it's, you know,
for people that aren't not from Arizona, haven't been to Arizona, Flagstaff is a weird place because you go from Phoenix, which is like a desert place. It's hot and big city, whatnot. And literally 2 hours away is a completely other land. It's forest, it snows, it's cold, it's literally like being in
I'm still recovering from this
state.
weekend. Dude, this weekend, it fucking snowed. Dude, it snowed so much between the hours of like 4 a.m. on Saturday, because I was still up. Everyone else was fucking passed out. But I was on such my fucking high horse, having a good set. I was just drinking and smoking, you know what I mean? I was like sitting my fire, you know, I was like sitting my fucking fire escape, fucking the snow was coming down, smoking a fucking doobie, drinking a fucking PBR that fucking Baez gave me, and it was just like, all right, man, this is fucking cool. But like, in a very short period of time, a ton of snow fell. And the GM of the hotel was like, dude, I'll give you guys a fucking comp room if you guys want to stay here tonight if you don't want to drive. And I was like,
did you guys drive?
oh shit, no, fuck no,
Oh,
Nancy.
sad.
I stayed because I didn't have to go to work until Tuesday. So I was like, fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm
why
staying.
not?
It's like, I'll drive, you know,
Yeah.
and that was Bynes' hometown. So he was hanging out with his buddies. Like, dude, I'll fucking stay. You know, Stalder fucking stayed for a little bit. So, you know, the majority of the comedians came back, you know, to Phoenix on Sunday. People had fucking gigs and whatnot. But, you know, a couple of us stayed up there. And, dude, I got more torn up on Sunday. Like, than, you know, I had a bowl of Pozole and God knows how much fucking alcohol. It was ridiculous. It was a fun place to party,
Yeah.
dude. And it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm 38 years old, and I still don't know how to slow down.
I haven't been to Flagstaff in a long time,
Dude,
man.
neither
I'm
have I,
going
man. That's
next week.
dude. So where's
weekend.
the show at? Dude?
I don't know. I don't know the name. I got to get it.
Is it at a club or at a hotel, dude?
No, I think it's just bar shows.
All right,
It's
well
like
then-
a bar or something.
Dude, I think you'll have a good time as long as it fucking doesn't snow tremendously, dude. That's gonna be fucking good. I think that's a good market. I sound like such a fucking asshole.
No, it's
but
fine, man, you're right.
well, dude, Kevin, I love being able to get out of town every once in a while to do shows. You know, like Nancy, it's like I sometimes have my best shows. And, you know, outside of town, like, you know, like what you said earlier, like, you know, when I get to be my fucking energetic, fucking raw, nasty, fucking true self, you know, I get to do that in those, you know, in those towns, and they love it. They're receptive of it. You know, it's like Ryan wanted me to go on first. He's like, Paul, I love your fucking energy. And I was just a complete fucking asshole up there. And they loved it, dude.
That's refreshing.
You know, and it's just like, not that I was being an asshole to them, but there was a lot of crowd work, a lot of riffing. I got really personal about myself. And, you know, Nancy, as we were saying, it's like, you know, talking about earlier, it's like, you need to have that fucking feedback. And that's what, for me, I was feeding off of.
Somebody told us, was it Matt, 2 weeks ago? He said sometimes the audience just wants their hair pulled and be slapped around a little bit. That cracked me up.
Yeah.
No, but there's complete truth to that. You know, there is.
Gotta get it
you
out
know,
of 'em.
you know, whether it's in a good way where they actually want that shit to happen, or you gotta fucking do it so they can pay attention.
Some people
you know,
show up
that's
and they're ready to laugh, and some people you gotta work for it.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I mean. Not to harp on this shit, but dude, that's what made last night disappointing. You know, I mean, Kevin, I'm sorry. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna.
You're fine, man.
No, dude. I should stop on the head. I should. I'm not gonna. I'd rather talk about myself.
All right.
I'd rather talk about myself.
Let's do this.
There's at least two more fucking things I want to get off my chest. Because I mean, I don't know how much fucking longer we got.
Run it, man.
You know, dude, guys. This is fun for me. You don't understand. It's like this is obviously, you know, I'm fucking going a mile a minute right now. This is me natural though. That's a fucked up thing. This is me completely unwinding.
I love it
and having a good time, dude.
Have you ever been arrested?
Oh yeah, several times. I mean, I'll tell you when.
Yes.
What was the best one first?
The best one. My two favorites.
Like everyone's like,
My
I would've
two
done it.
favorites.
There's a co-favorite. There's
It's a tie.
a co-favorite.
That's a fucking criminal.
the first-
My two favorites.
The first one, and they're both extremely cliche. Extremely cliche.
Murder.
That's murder and rape. Sorry. That was
You're good.
I
man.
love
Let's
that.
go.
I know.
Let's go.
Well, dude, that's what Blazing Saddles. What were you arrested for? Rape. What else? Rape. I like rape. Sorry, that was. I just had to get that off. Dude, that was another thing. That's what pisses me off about like comedians right now. It's like they have no sense of like history towards anything. It's like maybe that's my fucking. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm.
It's because they're 20.
That's got to be it. I think people under the age of 30 have no point of view in life whatsoever. I'm sorry. Unless you've really dealt like with true hardships in life.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think you really start to have a realistic way of what things are going to be like until you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think
agree
there's
with
a huge shift.
But then,
a
you know,
huge shift.
20-year-olds relate to 20-year-olds, so there's
Well,
that.
yeah. But it's like, you know, it's weird. It's like if I drop a fucking Caddyshack reference or a Blazing Saddles reference or a you know, Marx Brothers. I mean, Abbott and Costello, shit that I fucking grew up with that I would think is completely the norm.
Right.
I realize I'm fucking talking to a goddamn stone wall. And I'm like, all right, dude, obviously I'm going to shift this subject of conversation and just stop talking to you.
Yeah. All right, give us
All together.
Give me your arresting stories,
All right,
man.
so-
my two favorites.
So the first one was a fight at the Arizona Center. I remember this day. I remember this day clearly because I got off work.
It was 3 days ago.
I got off the radio station and I went back home to my house. And I say the house because it was all my best friends and their girlfriends. So we literally had like 10 people living in this giant
house party.
Yeah, it was called the Fish House because they're all fucking complete hippies. We love fish, complete fucking degenerates. There's house parties, which was one of the rest, which I'll get to, and and it was just a complete fucking type of communal, bullshit. So it was fun at the time, but obviously right now I'd slit my wrists if I lived like that way.
Right.
But I remember it was my buddy Shaheen's birthday. And
Charlie Sheen?
No wonder you got arrested.
And it was my buddy Shaheen's birthday, and I come home, and it was me, him, my buddy John, Jed, and Ben. And we go out to the bar. It was a bar in Apache, it's long closed, and get completely fucking hammered. So
On?
Just beer, just drinking. We were smoking pot and just and drinking alcohol.
See, he opens up.
Just
beer,
no,
and then the weed.
No, that
I
was
don't know.
It's a little crack.
Yeah, there was nothing. There was nothing hard there. That was just basic maintenance throughout the day. So we go down. We go back home to our house, and Shaheen's like, dude, I don't want to go out, but my other buddies, they did. So I'm like, you know what? We'll go down to the Arizona Center. And I don't know why we went down there. It was brand new at the fucking time. We wanted to go to Phoenix. It was like, we wanted to get out of fucking Tempe. We were being stupid. And my buddy's girlfriend was with us as well. So the four of us, we go down. And I was just too fucking drunk and tired to even go into the bar. I'm like, guys, you know what? I'm going to sleep it off in the car. And I'll drive everyone home if you want to fucking go into the bars. It's like, come grab me and I'll just drive home. Like, all right, cool, Paul. I wound up passing out. Everything was hunky-dory. And next thing I know, this was probably a couple hours later, I fucking hear this whole brouhaha between my buddy Ben and some other guy just jawing each other fucking back and forth, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it was him and another guy. They were fucking big dudes, and he had these three fucking little hippie kids and a fucking woman. No offense, Nancy. And it's not like Ronda Rousey was there, and it was just like, okay, we'll let you take on both of them at the same time. So I wake up to this commotion, and they're fucking jawing each other back and forth. I'm like, good God, Ben, fucking let's just try to get out of here. And I'm trying to defuse the situation. And it's working. I actually got them back into the car. I was about to fucking drive off. I actually had to push one of the guys away from the fucking car. But my buddy gets out from the fucking passenger side and starts jawing with the other guy. The other guy walks around the fucking front of the car and fucking sucker punches the guy my buddy Ben in the fucking back of the head. And I was like, okay, it's on. So I attack the guy that hit my buddy. Jed fucking tries to attack the other guy. He gets fucking pushed off. So my buddy's girlfriend goes to because my buddy's on the ground, tries to go to fucking cover him, and she gets fucking kicked. And I was like, all right, that's it. So Jed gets up, attacks the other guy that I was fucking fighting with. I run over there to fucking the other guy. I get on top of him, and I'm just fucking wailing on him. The other guy comes up, hits me in the fucking back of the head a couple times. I had a fucking nipple ring that got fucking ripped out. Oh. It was just it turned into a complete fucking fracas. Cops showed up and all that shit. So, granted, the witnesses didn't come afterwards, but the cops were taking all of our statements. And my buddy goes, yeah, we got into a fight, and he hit me, but my grandmother hits harder. So it was but it was just complete, it was complete polar opposites. You had these fucking hippie, punk kids, and you had these fucking complete bald-headed steroids and fucking meth guys. But granted, since we got into a fight, and I felt good. That was the first big fight I ever got in. And I was with someone bigger, and it's I held my own and was like, yeah, fucking let's go down to jail. I will sit in the fucking drunk cell for a night. Why the hell not? Let's go downtown, baby.
Get this documented.
Fucking caught Neil Young. Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm already fucking scared that they're gonna see me. Someone's gonna pick on me. Boom. But luckily we just we got down there. We were fucking in the fucking little drunk tank for I don't know, maybe an hour or two, and then they let us go. But that was the first time. Actually, no, there's 3 times. I should say that because the third time was a doozy, but it certainly wasn't my favorite. But we're not talking about how many times I've been arrested. We're talking about favorites, Kevin. I apologize.
Sorry, yeah.
But that one just kind of seeped in because I always get arrested in Arizona for some reason. And the second time, but most of it was in fucking college. Most of it was in college. And the last time was we always used to have house parties at our at our house, and
Makes sense.
no, that's and thank you. And my buddies that were in a band, which I'm still friends to this day, and they're actually still in various bands in Phoenix, like really fucking talented musicians. They were in a band called Joe Mama. They played a lot of funk and, funk, R&B covers and stuff like that and their original shit. But, they would always go out and fucking play, like, Long Longs and, fucking Hollywood Alley and, cool little Tempe places that have long closed down. But we would have these house parties, like, every couple of months, charge people at the door, have 5 or 6 kegs. We'd let the fucking neighborhood know, we're having these parties. And nothing ever happened. We probably had at least, 4 or 5 of them over a course of 2 years. But the last one got completely fucking out of hand. I mean, there was hundreds
Project
of people.
X.
There was just hundreds of people. And I remember the first time there was one cop that he showed up early. It was like fucking 10:30. He was like, dude, Paul. He's like, all right, officer, we'll fucking.
He knows your name.
No, well, I mean, we're talking. I'm trying to schmooze. I'm like, dude, I'll have shit over done by midnight. You know what I mean? He was very gracious.
Oh, he's like trying to negotiate with the cop.
He was a young cop, some fucking Irish young cop. He was very cool. No, he was very cool because that was him like giving me my fucking first slap on the wrist. Then he came back a second time. He was like, dude, I was like, dude, I told you, you got to fucking cut this out. And then by the third time, there was fucking a couple of cop cars, and me and my buddy, who I actually got into the fight with, we got thrown into jail for the night. But luckily, we got bailed out with the money that we made at the door,
nice.
And still went out to IHOP afterwards.
Right.
So those were my most fun.
What did you get put in jail for?
That was my DUI.
That was a DUI?
No,
I'm saying for that time.
That was because I got fucking
disruption.
Because the cops came 3 times. Disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace. That was my heftiest fine to date. The fight was just a little fucking in and out, procedural shit.
The fine was the most?
What's that? Well, at the time,
the fine?
The fight, yeah. Because it was like fucking. It was like almost $1,000. It was a lot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like because me and my buddy both got we both got fined because we were essentially not cooperating with the police,
right. Causing a ruckus.
Yeah, we were, and it's completely our fault, but we were fucking complete snobbish douchebags, it's like, hey, fuck it, we got money, we knew exactly what the deal was, we thought we were badasses and hard asses at the time, but my DUI, and this still haunts me to this fucking day because I had a fucking impeccable record. Even when I was working at the radio stations back in the day, I would drive the fucking vans and trucks hammered. Like, because that's what we do. We'd be at a fucking promotion, and you would just get completely fucking shit-faced. That was the norm. And I would drive this shit. Nothing ever happened. But I was in from New York visiting my family, and I was visiting my mom, and it was the day after Christmas. It was just, and I was in Tempe going on Apache. I was with my buddy. I was speeding. Motorcycle cop pulled me over, and that was it. And that cost me over $10,000.
Yep, that's
DUI. It was
$10,000.
It was an extreme DUI. Mm-hmm. I blew a .19. Like, that's how fucked up
shit.
I was. And the thing that really pissed me off was some fucking guy from fucking Queens. I think it was some fucking Jew from Queens that was a cop.
Hey.
And I'm like, dude, come on, man. I'm one of you.
Just Queens?
Yeah, but I'm Jewish.
It was like, dude, it's like, really? Come on, man. I was like, I'm on vacation, dude. Like, cut me some slack. You don't know who I am?
No, they don't cut slack.
No, sorry. Well, yeah, Nancy, I learned that the hard way awfully quickly. But I'll tell anyone right there in the podcast universe, if you get pulled over for DUI, don't hire a fucking lawyer.
Why's that?
Dude,
Nancy,
I gave him $3,000. He did jack shit.
So it just makes your
shit. He did fucking nothing. I still had to fucking pay the fine for the ticket which was actually one of the least costly things in the entire fucking process.
You didn't live here and you got the DUI here. How does that work? Like, do you have to come here to serve?
No. I was under house arrest.
Here.
No, in New York, and I got my ankle monitor put on at my work in my boss's office, which was one of the coolest thing, to this day.
House arrest sounds so fun.
And I was,
do well.
I flourished, and so I was able to go to work, but I couldn't go out, But the fucked up thing is, as I was under house arrest, I was going to rehab. I had to go to rehab. And
mandatory.
And this was like months rehab. It was fucking this group rehab shit. And I was in there with complete fucking degenerates. I mean,
so you met some people.
Oh, dude. Oh, I met people. All right. I mean, there's they made me look like a fucking goddamn saint.
They hired Paul as an attorney.
To like a sex addicts group, like where better to meet more people like yourself?
Dude,
I'm just saying.
But the thing that killed me about the whole rehab thing was, that was my only DUI to this day. And I was in there with...
What, you want a fucking cookie? You shouldn't have none.
No, I thought you guys... And that's the way it's going to stay. But, I mean, and there was, like, heroin addicts recovering, really hardcore drug addicts, but there was people in there that had multiple DUIs. Like, there was one guy that drove his fucking car through someone else's living room. And I'm like, really?
I want to get that
I'm like,
guy
are
on the
you
show.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
It's
you
like,
have to try. Like, you have to try to do that.
and
that
I,
doesn't just happen.
yeah, that's it. And I got busted the very first time, because you end up paying a cup every single week. And I got busted because I had cocaine and pot in my system. And at that
He's like,
point,
but I'm not drinking.
But Kevin, exactly.
But the pot
the
is
entire
better
fucking
time.
thing that got me in trouble, I'm not fucking doing. Are you kidding me?
Right.
So I couldn't smoke pot for fucking
So
4 or 5
they
months,
say
which
we found
killed
cocaine
me.
and pot.
And I couldn't do any hard drugs.
And you're saying,
And
but no liquor. So
no, I became more of a raging alcoholic in those months of rehab, and I, was smoking a pack a day of cigarettes because I couldn't do all the other vices. That to me is ironic. And it was a fucking $10,000 fuck in the ass.
So did you ever find a really healthy habit to replace those vices with?
Sometimes I eat well and I exercise, but that's only when I have time. Which I'm.
I don't finish the pipe.
Right.
Well, yeah, I'll save it for later. Exactly. I'll walk to the brewery down the street.
Anything in moderation.
Yeah, well, yeah, of
Just
course.
Like half
Yes.
of that dose, whatever. How do you talk about drugs?
Dosage. Well, yes, no, but everything in moderation. I embody that philosophy.
go.
And I think you can have your cake and eat it too. And and look,
I just told that joke last night.
No, but I think
It was part of my sayings bit.
No, but I think there's truth to that, and I understand there's some people that can't do that, biologically and physiology, where
Right.
the fuckologies there are. There's the
Fuckology, that's my favorite. I'm that, whatever that is.
Nancy teaches that over at SEC.
Yep.
and I get that, and you have to do what you have to do, and I respect that, but it's like I can't, man. It's like I need pot and alcohol to fucking keep me in line.
I drink. I enjoy drinking. I recently went to Girl Scout camp, which we talked about earlier, which no drinking policy. I didn't drink for 2 days, and I didn't think about it. I thought, oh, this is really going to piss me off. Like, I'm going to really, want some wine or whatever the fuck I wanted. And I didn't think about it. I think I was exhausted. I was so busy during the day with these kids, I didn't have time.
Were they pot Girl Scout cookies?
No. I didn't even get the cookies. I didn't get anything. I just... I really thought I would be like, oh, God, I could really use a cocktail right now. Especially with all these kids.
Well, yeah.
I didn't even, flip out once. So maybe that's a good thing.
I mean, if you don't mind me asking, in terms of, parenting overall, I mean, at times, are you a little sedated, dealing with the children?
Most of the times. After 5. I have a strict rule, 5 o'clock. That's
when you're inside the house, they're done with their activities.
Well, it's how I get through homework and all their shit right. They are done with their school and their dance for the day, and it's 5 o'clock, let's go home, do homework, or cook dinner, and we all wind down and do our thing. So, I just kind of have a routine, and that's how it goes. I was nervous to break my routine, and it was fine. So, I guess.
Yeah, but that routine was temporary, though. You knew that was only going to be a handful of hours or days.
That's true. So you make me feel like I didn't accomplish it.
No, you did. You did. Any time that there is sobriety, I think that's a huge accomplishment.
I thought so. I was impressed. Especially because I was with a group of people who stressed me out so bad, it was not my group of people. It was not something I could relate to at all. I was just like, this sucks so bad. The only thing, that alcohol is tolerance. It would have helped, but I was just like, I can't do it, whatever. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that.
Yes. Well, you should have a drink for that.
I'm going to as soon as I'm done with this.
Well, how come you're not drinking right now? Seriously. You can't have a beer right now and do what you're doing?
I don't want to drive. I don't drink and drive.
One bottle of beer or a glass of wine is not going to fucking kill you.
It's not.
You're not going to do something stupid like I did.
You don't know that.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know, unless you're a complete lush. I have no idea. Well, thank you. Yes, but more reasons for me to.
Don't talk right into drinking our stuff, man.
It's all right. I apologize.
Hey,
it's my fault.
Give me a God, dude. I just love stories, dude. They're so cool. What else? Because you said you had a couple things to get off your chest. I want to hear.
No,
man.
I mean, there was maybe some comedy things, but I think I did that. I mean, I don't know. It's you know what, Kevin? for me, I think comedy comes from a place of pain, you know, and maybe that's cliche to say, you know, because I look at what we do in terms of going up and making people laugh and, you know, trying to project our point of view. That's all been done before. You know, it's like, even if you talk about yourself, your ideas and your thoughts, someone else has had down the line already.
I had this conversation with Howard last night.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you don't, all right, do you mind sharing? Because I would love to hear what you have to say.
Excuse me. I have like 20 minutes of my material that I use is about my child, right? But when I listen or watch a Louis C.K. Special, he does all his material is like, well, shit, I can't do that now. That's exactly what I want to talk about, but I can't because now Louis just did it.
Yeah, but Kevin, you don't use the same fucking premise, or you just don't.
But they are the same premises.
No, but I know. But look, there's other comedians that do that.
Right.
You just have to do it in.
Well, shit, man.
You have to do that in your own voice, man.
But
you do.
okay, but then there's been times too where, like during the holiday season, I was saying, you know, my son, like he believes in Santa. Spoiler alert: if your kid's listening, kind of turn it off if they still believe in him. So my son does, and I did this bit where I was like, my son made a list of all these Christmas gifts that he wanted, and I got him stuff. He's like, cool, Santa will just get me the rest of them. I'm like, fuck, dude, how much money does he think Santa has? And I got off the stage one night, and somebody came up to me. He's like, yo, that's a Joe Matarese bit. And I was like, well, fuck, I've never even heard the bit.
Well, Kevin, I think it's innocent if you haven't heard the bit. Like, you know, and who knows what that guy was telling you, dude. You have no idea if he actually understood what fucking Joe Matarese was saying. I mean,
every parent thinks that. Like, you put your own spin on it.
And I mean, you would have to literally hear what Joe Matarese said. You would have to hear that right off the bat to see how close it was or similar it was to, you know, to your bit. But dude, I mean, you're a fucking parent. You're gonna talk about your children. That's, you know, unless you know, I mean, obviously you're gonna do other shit, but that's a part of who you are right now, man. And you know, you just gotta put it, you gotta spin it, you know, your own way. And it's okay, but it's like, dude, and it's like, you know, but
Howard said that too, man. He's like, you can still do it. You need to put a spin on it. But yeah, but that is my spin. Like, Louis tells it, and it's the funniest thing you've ever heard in your life. That's what I want it to be. So how can I make it funnier than that guy? He's just one of the best stand-ups in the world. But it's so frustrating.
Dude, but it goes back to we all share certain commonalities. Whether because, dude, I talk about me being a fucking bachelor. You can talk about your fucking kids.
Yeah.
You know, they're complete polar opposites, but guess what? Parents are going to talk about being fucking parents, and single people are still going to fucking talk about being single people. Yeah. You know, that's whether you're a fucking man or you're a woman. You know, son or daughter, what have you, gay or straight, it's still going to be the fucking same thing.
So, like, my buddy Sam, he's a comic. He goes to the clubs, he does his set, and then he gets out. And he's a headliner. He's a touring headliner, but he just goes in, does his sets at the clubs, and then he leaves because he's like, or he'll just stay outside. I'm like, I don't want to hear what other comics are doing because I don't want to get an idea from them. I don't want to know that I'm doing something similar to them. But I just want to go and do me.
Yeah, but I mean, do you think that's because he is like, you know, a headliner, you know, a professional?
No, okay. So then here's
a comedian
here's the other
because
side.
he's gotten to that level where, you know, he's going to do his fucking set. He knows exactly the fucking topics and shit he's going to talk about. He can't, you know, he's not going to let all that shit psych him out.
No. Only because when he's doing the spots in the clubs that I'm talking about, that's when he's piecing his hour together. He just doesn't want to get his mind clustered. I've heard it from other comics too. But I've also seen it from the other side, man, where I've seen headliners sit inside of clubs for the whole night listening to all these comics, and they're taking their ideas and making them into their own. And it's like, but the reason I sit around comedy clubs and watch everybody is because I want to support everybody. I don't want to be that guy that comes in and just does a set and bails out. I want to be the dude that's like, look, I've been there, man. If you have questions, I'll answer them for you. I've been in this business for a long time. So I'm going to watch your set, and if you have a question, look, I'll give you my advice. Not saying I'm right or wrong, but either way, it's advice, and I look for it from other people too. God, there's so many comedians, and there's only so many topics.
Yeah, and and I think
Nancy's got to go.
Oh,
Nancy.
So nice to meet
so
you.
are we still? Is this still going on?
You guys can't.
Okay,
I
I mean,
know.
if
I'm so
not, man.
sorry.
All right,
So-
Nancy,
We're all
you
good.
too, Nancy. Thank you so much. This is, I actually feel terrible.
Nance,
right now,
beer for the
because-
road?
No.
Yes.
I got to the car on ice.
Well, because we're going over, aren't we, right now?
No, you're fine.
Okay,
man.
all right,
We're good.
okay, all right. So I shouldn't feel
No, enjoy
too
yourself.
bad. Because this, well,
Text me if you need anything.
thank you.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Thanks, Nancy. I appreciate
Thanks for dinner.
No problem.
So yeah, I mean, there's that aspect where look, I completely agree with look. If we don't hear it, there's nothing to blame. We're going to cross ideas as
of course,
comedians.
naturally.
We're going to cross jokes. We're going to cross a million things. There's another comic out there somewhere, doing the same material as me and you.
Kevin, of course there is. But don't you think you need to have that type of mentality, in a way? Thinking that, all right, someone is pretty much doing this same exact shit you are.
But I got to be better at it.
Or better at it, or, you know what? I'm doing it right now in front of this fucking crowd. Regardless of where it is. And they gotta dig it. They gotta laugh. I gotta make sure I fucking, do my job. And I'm fine. I'm fine with that because I just think it's, as you said, there's so much out there. There's so many fucking comedians out there. There's a wealth of talent, a wealth of funny people, and there's only so many fucking ideas. It's like, how many different types of fish are you gonna fucking catch? It's that's just the way it is. And for me, I like fucking, as certain shows, I actually like hanging around and watching the other comedians because if I'm, depending on where I am in my spot, I like riffing on the people in front of me.
Yeah.
And that's a way for me to break the ice with the crowd. And because if they were laughing at that shit and they liked it, and if I say something that would make them identify with the other comedian said, then I'm like, okay, they're gonna hopefully, dig what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And then I could fucking.
And there's a couple ways
go
to
into
look at it,
material.
right?
But last night, dude, I didn't want to, particularly after my set, dude, I didn't want to have to fucking deal with anybody. And it was just like, wow, there was a lot of fucking comedians there, but I didn't, honestly. And if you, may I give an example of this
course.
shit, dude? Last week I did Third Space, Amy Blackwell's
I haven't
room.
been there.
Yeah, dude,
yeah.
Kevin. Dude, are we
She asked me to
on the
do
show
it, but-
together that Micheletti's doing for the
The 27th?
no, Comedy on Fire we're doing together.
Yeah, not the Avengers.
But no,
one,
not the Avengers. Okay, but it's a wonderful space on Grand. At least
Amy
like it.
asked me to do it, man. We just can't get a date to work.
Well, I mean, it's quickly I think becoming a good spot. I mean, I know she was already booked through March, and that was last week.
Yeah.
So I mean, definitely get on that show.
And
when
she'll
you
be
can.
on the podcast
yeah.
in like a month or
Yeah, so do it. But it was weird, dude, because I mean it was a lean crowd. I mean there was maybe honestly 2 or 3 people there. Seriously. Plus just the way and we did it inside, so just how the whole fucking stage was set up. And then, a handful of workers, people from the bar who were just tremendously supportive. But all the comedians there was only a handful of us. It was like me, James Wells, there was Roman, there was fucking Daniel Amaro, there was Ryan Stalder, there was fucking Lawson and Amy Blackwell. Aaron Onco was fucking hosting. I know I'm forgetting a couple of others, and I apologize. But it was just so supportive because we just really were engaged in each other's set. And actually Dave Schneer was there. We were just really engaged in each other's set. That it was like, wow, it felt like I was in a room of fucking 20 people really paying attention. And I was like, holy shit. This is fucking... It was probably one of the few times I did a room of complete comedians, and I felt awesome afterwards. Because guess what? Last night, I certainly didn't fucking feel that way. It was just like, wow. And, dude, not to be a complete cocksucker, but, Kevin, that's why I don't do that room on Wednesdays. I'm sorry. That's why I fucking don't do that fucking room on Wednesdays.
I don't blame anybody for whatever reasons they have for doing rooms and don't do rooms. I don't blame anybody at all. I mean, everybody's got their own particular crowd or whatever they want to do. What I was going to get into, or at least say, was particular for me. I like to stay in the room when I'm on a show for the people that go before me so I can get a feel of the crowd and what they're buying into, okay? Because I can change. I have enough material where I can change on the fly.
Dude, that's what I love to hear. Because, dude, you've been doing this. I don't think people realize how ensconced in the comedic world you are, dude. You know what I mean? And to be able to have that confidence and luxury, you know, to be able to do that. And Kevin, I think this is so fucking important because that's something that I'm trying to build towards, dude. You know what I mean? That you want to see what the room's like, what's getting them off, and then take it from there.
Yeah, and that comes with time. The other thing is, and I know a lot of guys that do this, where they stay out of the room, and then they get the call of, look, guy before he's finishing up, you got 2 minutes before you're up. And they say, okay. And then they'll still wait another minute. And then they'll go into the room, and they'll be like, I don't want to know what the room's like. I'm going to go up with just me. If it failed, then good. I'm glad I don't know. And if it's been killing it, okay, I'm so confident in my material that I'll keep the room going either way, or I'll bring it up.
I mean, do you think that depends on where you're going in the lineup?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's tough to say. It is. It's tough to say because, look, if you're a host or an opener, you are going up with no judge of the crowd. And you're the least experienced comic on the bill. If you're going up second, you know, you don't really go off of what the opener has done. And then, you know, headliner, you should be confident enough to where, look, they've come to see me, or if they haven't, I'm way better than the 2 guys or 3 guys that went up before me.
Do you think there's advantages of going on first? Because I think there are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you set up the show for everybody else.
I mean, the host does his thing, but if you're the very first comedian going up on that bill, you know, I mean, it's weird because it's weird when people shy away from that. You know what I mean? I think that's a part of a rite of passage, particularly when you first start. It's like, all right, dude, we're throwing you up first.
Yeah, that's what you do.
But I think that's how you develop that level of comfortability and confidence, you know, in the long run, dude.
For sure.
Because, you know, when I did the show in Flagstaff, you know, Stalder put me up specifically because my energy level was with, you know, the crowd wants to get fired up, dude. Mm-hmm. Dude, we're in the fucking Wild West. Fucking 6 guns out. Let's fucking do it. You know? And that to me, I mean, is cool, but you know, I understand why comedians don't like going on first, but you know what? Maybe it depends on the room that you're in though, dude, because
a guy that we know, Clayton Perkins, he's a previous guest of the show.
Dude, Clayton's great, dude.
It was a great episode. Go back and listen to it. Clayton's a great dude.
But he's a kind of a professional guy. I mean,
that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting
at. Sorry.
So no, you're fine. So Clayton is a hell of a comic, man. He is in Phoenix. He's one of the best. If you were to go top 5, he's in the 5. Clayton hosted one night. And in my whole career, I've rarely hosted. I've been fortunate enough to jump that path. But either way, I'm not the best at it. I kind of know how to do it.
You don't like doing it?
But I don't love it. I mean, if I could choose a spot, I wouldn't choose to host. But Clayton did, and I learned from watching him. He's the only reason why I stayed for the whole show, to watch how he did it. Because he did his opening monologue to get the show going. And then at the end of his set, which is short, I mean, when you're a host, 5-10 minutes, maybe 10 at the most, he got the crowd energized, brought up the next comic. Whether the comic did good or bad, it didn't matter. Every time Clayton went up, he said, you guys, let's get some clapping going. Let's keep this energy rolling. Everybody get up out your seat. Here's the next person. He bring up every time. So every comic that went up while Clayton hosted got a fair shot.
And it's up to that individual to keep that momentum going. And honestly, Kevin, I love that approach. And I think that's what I take. I try to take that approach now, dude. I do. Because it's easy to let me rephrase that. I think if the crowd wants to be engaged, it does.
They're there to have a good time.
Hopefully they are. Hopefully they're there to laugh. And if that person, that host, is doing their fucking job to do that, and that crowd is into it right off the bat, then you know what? It's everyone else's job to make sure that they're doing it. Because guess what? That host, and that's what Clinton did, even if the other comedians bombed, he got that crowd right back up.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that in such a short period of time is fucking really impressive. Because you don't want to fucking go off on a tangent and try to get the room back. No, I'm sure he probably did something within 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And was able to, boom, get that room back after even if someone fucking sucked a dick.
He was great.
And to be able to do that. And that's,
even just the little things, like he would clap. Just clap before the audience would clap. Just get his hands going. Clap for the guy that just came off stage. Clap for the next guy coming up. The little things that I picked up on. It's like, God damn, man, you know what you're doing. You're good at this.
But Kevin, that's, I think, what comedy's supposed to be like. I hate this fucking downtrodden introvert shit, dude.
Well,
it's like,
okay, let
come
me ask you
on.
this.
It's like, let's fucking create a fucking Baptist church in there. Let's go, Let's fucking do it. Everyone fucking wear robes and fucking sing in unison. That's what I want to fucking see.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Because sometimes it gets not compared to movies, but in the same sense, you're going out for a night, you're going to see a movie, you go to one spot, you pay to get in, and you're 2 hours, but you're there, and this is a movie you want to see, right? Yeah. And you enjoy it. And if you don't at the end, it's like, that sucked, whatever. But in a comedy club, I feel like, if I were to put a percentage on it, 75 to 85% are like, yeah, we're going to have fun tonight. This is awesome. And then 15% that are there are just negative and want to bash on it already.
Yeah.
No matter how funny you are, they're like, who the fuck do they think they are that they can make us laugh and they're funnier than we are? Do you feel that same way?
Oh, I do. I mean, not only do I feel that way from the audience, I feel that way from the comedians. I feel
you can't play to the back of the room, though, man. It shouldn't matter what a comedian thinks.
No, but I mean, but if it's one of those things where if the comedian's going in there is thinking, oh, I don't want someone to be better than me. You can't have that. You can't have that fucking. You can't have that going in. It's like someone else is always going to be fucking better than you and funnier than you, and you got to embrace that shit because that's the type of stuff that's going to fucking hopefully make you better. And I understand, but getting back to the crowd, it's like fucking beef. You're going to have the 85-15% ratio. I'll fucking take the fat. Let's do it. And if people and if people want to be fucking assholes, and I already have that 85% of the crowd. I'll placate to the fucking 15%. Let's have some fun. Let's bullshit, dude. You want to get into it, particularly if you're shouting shit and just being, an asshole about it. Let's have some fun. I will fucking drop everything right then and there, and you and I will fucking,
Okay, but all right, then let me ask this in devil's advocate. By doing that, are you going to lose percentage of the 85?
No, because if you do your job correctly, they're already going to be on your side. So if you could fucking put that person in their place, they're going to laugh at that shit even more. Because if they're already with you, they already know what that fucking douchebag is doing. They already know exactly why that guy is fucking chirping in.
Yeah.
They're completely on your fucking level.
I've done enough shows in my life to where I've never ever done this. I've always wanted everyone on the show that I've been on to do really well. And it's not to say like, man, I don't want them to be funnier than me. That plays no impact or thought in my mind because we're doing different material. I want everyone on the show to be great because there's no lull and you get a true reaction from everybody.
Kevin, I could not agree with you more because it makes your job easier as a fucking comedian. And if everyone else is doing good, the morale is up, and I think the crowd sees that type of fucking positivity and they see that consistency. And it's like, all right, this is good. And everyone's walking off the stage feeling good about themselves. That the material, stuck and the crowd liked it. And that only just adds to the experience and adds to the crowd. And I think that's imperative. And it's hard to do, at times when you have fucking, a host and, 5 or 6, 7 comedians. It's really hard to do at times, dude. To keep that fucking consistency.
Well, some of those shows.
So
when you have that many comics, dude, it's like, come on, man. What kind of shot are we getting here?
I know. And Kevin, obviously, we understand there's all different levels and types of shows. Whether it's the club, bar, and 4 comedians, 5 comedians, 6, whatever, or it's a plethora of fucking everyone would say you might as well fucking be herding cats at that point. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
But dude, I completely agree with your sentiment that it's my favorite shows are when everyone is doing well.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even matter on that comedian's material. Maybe, honestly, it's some of the stupidest, hackiest shit you fucking heard. But, if everyone else is bringing things to the party, it kind of just washes that out because that person did good. The crowd dug it. So, if anything, the audience is into a very wider range of fucking comedy.
Yeah.
And for a guy like me, man, I need that, dude. I need that. Like,
You feed off the energy of the crowd.
Kevin, internally, I feed off my pain and my anguish, but externally, I feed off the fucking crowd. Because whatever nasty shit, inner turmoil that comes out of my mouth, that crowd is going to say, you know what? Nah, it's okay, and they're going to laugh. And that is just going to make me feel so good inside.
Yeah.
It's
the best feeling, right?
It is.
We chase it every goddamn night.
Yeah. Well, man, it's, well, that's one of the things, like, dude, I'm an adrenaline junkie, man. I've skydived 19 times. I started learning to skydive here in Skydive, Arizona, down in the fucking Eloy. Great, one of the most popular drop zones in the fucking country. And when I was going to ASU, I got into a fucking skydiving club, and that's how I got to go down there. And I'll tell you right now, Kevin, fucking two of the scariest jumps, two of them. The first jump I did with my own packed parachute. I thought it was going to be like a fucking Looney Tunes commercial. You pull the fucking ripcord and knives and forks and spoons going to be flying out of it. And then when I had to do my emergency jump, which is when you have to jump out at a much lower altitude in case a fucking plane's going down, and I had to jump out at like 3,500 feet. Dude, the ground is right there. Ground is fucking right there. Because when you're jumping out of a fucking plane at like, 12.5, complete fucking, different scenario. But to me, it's interesting to see comedians take their own approaches to it. For me, dude, it's just I do it for myself more so than anybody else. It's my own, and then, like I said, I know this might sound redundant, but it's my own form of therapy. It's completely cathartic, but in terms of when you have a good set, and yourself, and particularly when you're yourself, and you can kind of do your own thing up there, when you have time to fucking kind of breathe, when you're actually doing all the ABCs of comedy. Like, you're doing your material, you're doing your callbacks, you're doing crowd work, you're doing riffing, when you're doing all that shit, and everything works, and you walk off the stage, man, it's the biggest fucking, one of the biggest adrenaline rushes I've ever felt. It is. And that's the fucking, it's a drug, man. Maybe this fucking podcast has been drug-centric at times, but comedy's a fucking drug, dude. Whether you like it or not, that's what it fucking is.
Yeah. It's like when you hit that pocket, when you're on stage, you get in that pocket. So, excuse me, for me, typically when I get on stage, and I said this on the special episode we had midweek with Matt Storrs and Centenny, is I'm more of a bit comic where I do talk about my life, but I do it in bits. I don't do it in necessary stories. But when I get on stage, I usually quick hit a joke. So it's not, I don't know if it's a one-liner, but it is quick because I want the audience engaged to what I'm bringing in next. So whatever I'm going to talk about for the first 5 to 7 minutes, that's where I'm going to quick hit a joke in to bring the audience in. Now, judging off of the response I get from that, I then go into what part of the bit I'm going to start with.
Interesting.
Okay? So everything in my head is a file cabinet. It's disgusting.
Well, no, you have to have that.
Yeah.
You have to.
And so when I hit that second one, if I get the same or bigger laughter, you just fall into this pocket as a comic where it doesn't matter at that point. You can say whatever you want. You've got the crowd. And you make them laugh with anything. And when you get off of that stage after doing, it doesn't matter how long of time. 3 minutes, an hour. It doesn't matter. Dude, that feeling is better than sex. It's better than drugs. It's better than alcohol. It is the best feeling, and I'm not even by a little. Dude, it is the best feeling that will keep you awake for 2 days.
That's what it is. It's completely supplements all these fucking stimulants, dude. It's like, if anything, granted, I'm more of a raging alcoholic because of comedy, and a more raging pothead because of comedy, but in a way, it's taking away all the hard stuff, because this is what, and it's Kevin. It's, as you said, it's so strange. You can even do the shittiest room, or a room you didn't think was going to be good, a not important gig, but you still walk off there feeling great. Mm-hmm. It's coming down from that, man. It's just like, wow, you're up for hours.
Yeah,
at least I am.
You play it back in your mind, and look,
you play everything. You completely nitpick. You completely psychoanalyze. It's like, dude, and that's what I love about it. It's like, I can walk off the stage, think I'm doing good, and then I watch the set, and I'm like, oh, this sucked, this sucked, this sucked. I'm like, no, you still had a fucking good set, but bullshit, no. You know, and then you go right back to the fucking drawing board.
And it's funny because you hear the same from guys that are just starting out at open mics. And then, I'm friends with a lot of headliners, and it's all the same. You're chasing that feeling. And most headliners don't have bad sets anymore.
No.
But they do have off nights, crowds, it doesn't, whatever.
Well, Kevin,
but
we've seen that. We've seen that, dude. At the local clubs here, we've seen that, dude.
They're still chasing that perfect set every time.
What are we, fucking surfers? We're supposed to fucking go with this fucking Point Break right now? It's like, we might as well fucking be heroin. We might as well be heroin addicts and fucking wear, fucking Richard Nixon masks while we're on stage. And then I'm gonna do my fucking set. That's what I'm gonna do. Jesus. But that's actually a really, really poignant analogy, dude. You know what I mean? It is. It's fucking. It's spot fucking on. It is.
You know what? But it's the best life. I fucking love my life.
Yeah, dude.
I love what I do, man. This is, for me, Jesus. Comedy is, look, it's something I've always been into since I was 8 years old. I was like, I want to be a fucking comedian. And, being able to do it. Just being able to do it. All right? Like, we see people that go up every week, and it's like, dude, you suck. I'll never tell somebody to stop. I'll never tell somebody to stop. Stop. Don't stop laughing. I'll never tell them to stop, because you never know. You make it good at it.
No, of course not.
But I see some people, I'm like, wow, you're not close. You're not close, man, to not even making somebody smile.
I mean, for established comedians, like someone that's been doing it for a few years, like, I mean, like, no, but honestly, if you feel like, that's even worse. Like, if you see a newbie, okay, fine. You're still getting your fucking feet wet. I understand that, but, that's, it's, oh, God, that's not that, yeah, dude.
But, dude, this is the best life, I think.
No.
That's why I fucking love it, man. I can't get rid of it. If I wanted to, I couldn't. Now I know what an addict feels like. I can't get rid of it.
Like I said, man, it's a fucking drug, just like anything else, man, and that's why we all do it. And we, obviously, some of us are more delusional than others. I always find it interesting, Kevin, why people start doing it. I find that completely...
I you know what? I usually always ask it on this podcast to comics. I'm like, when did it all start for you?
Well, I mean, for me, I think it started in radio, being able to just go out and publicly speak to people and deal with the American public. Like, just understand that dynamic, because you're dealing with people from all fucking walks of life. But for me, man, it's completely family driven. I mean, my dad died when I was 9. My grandparents died at an early age. I had, friends die at an early age, and I see how my mom has struggled at times in her life, and just different types of abuse that's gone on, throughout my childhood. And that's a type of shit that drives me, Kevin, that I haven't even begin to fucking articulate yet on stage. And I feel that since I started doing comedy in my mid-30s, I can't wait to go back and listen to this podcast. And I mean, dude, I know there's still one more fucking mushroom trip I want to talk about.
Let's go, dude. Tell it now.
No, but I still want to kind of unburden myself
All right.
and do, you know, and talk about my you know, fucked up, you know, childhood. But that's the type of stuff that keeps me going, you know. And I'm looking forward to one day being able to bring that out on stage. And I don't know if it's going to go well. I don't, because it's weird, Kevin, when it depends. I don't know, man. Maybe it depends on the fucking crowd. It depends on the venue. But it's like, I just love talking about my internal strife about shit and my past life experiences. And, you know, for me to, I don't write jokes. I just don't. I just fucking don't. You know, I'm not a joke writer. I could tell stories with fucking punchlines. I could tell stories in funny ways. You know,
Yeah.
maybe that's the type, and maybe that's the type of comedian I am. I don't know, but I love getting fucking angry. I love just being vehement on stage, and you know that just comes, you know, from you know a lot of hardship, man. And I think, to me, like I said earlier, dude, that's, to me, comedy comes from a lot of hardship, because a lot of the greats, a lot of the heavyweights that I admired, who I've done research on, whether it's the Marx Brothers or Richard Pryor, you know, I mean, that's completely two fucking polar opposites, but you look at the fucking lives those guys had coming up and how they were able to bring it out on stage, whether it's through their stand-up, their acting, and all these other different mediums. It's just like, wow, that's just, it's fucking brilliant. And I love watching, you know, dude, I watched St. Vincent the other day, you know, with Bill Murray. And it was just such a, I mean, at times it was cliche, but a very funny, great movie. And after watching that movie, I just thought, God, I suck. You know, it's like, I just fucking suck. But it's like, you know, that's just, it's okay. It's okay, because there's someone that's going to be. I don't understand people who don't give credit to people who are better than them. I will never fucking understand that, because you got to take that type of inspiration to make yourself better, you know? And even if it's, you know, type of, you know, certain characters, like that Bill Murray character in fucking St. Vincent's. I love the old curmudgeon character because, quite frankly, that's going to be me in like fucking 20 years. That's exactly going to be me. You know, except with a dead, you know, comatose wife in a fucking place in Brooklyn in a dirt lawn, you know, in a fucking knocking up a Russian prostitute, which I hope I do actually one day.
Fingers crossed.
Then I could be a father, and then Kevin, guess what? There's going to be a whole new fucking world of material, you know? But
yeah. One thing I love that you say is look, as comics, there's so many different styles, and there's not one that works and one doesn't. It doesn't matter. But I love honesty from a comic. Talks about themselves and their lives and their experiences, situations, the whole nine. And one of the things that you keep drawing back to is, I have all these things I want to talk about that have happened to me, but I'm just not ready yet, or it hasn't happened yet, whatever. You're so honest, man, that it doesn't matter if it's funny or not.
So how do I do that though, dude? When
I mean, if I knew the answer,
like you know, like when, like you know, I mean, look, I know material. I mean, and Kevin, I think, you know, going back to what you said earlier about just being able to draw from your wealth of material, I have that. Like, I feel that I do. I really genuinely believe that. You know, and I can't wait. You know, but it's this weird. Like, what happens when I have a 7-8 minute set? You know, and it's like I try to do all this shit, dude. And maybe that's going to be the challenging and interesting part for me to kind of...
Yeah, and that's something to challenge yourself. I mean, depending on how much time you have, you got to work with the material that you've got.
But like tonight, to me, it's just been all fucking just riffing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is just us bullshitting, dude. And it just, you know...
It's a conversation.
It is, and it just... Maybe that's the way I need to approach a set, dude. Have a conversation with the crowd.
Maybe, but here's the thing.
I mean, obviously, it's not going to work all the time. I'm not a fucking talk show host.
Dude, this fucking thing. At about 7 years of doing comedy, that's when you'll find your voice. All right? Yeah. About. Whether you find it before, some comics do, some comics never find it. And what that means is, it doesn't mean like Like, oh, now I don't know. I know what kind of comic I am. It doesn't necessarily mean that. What it means is I can go up on stage and I found the way I can present my material to make people laugh every time. Or if not, at least be so satisfied with what I did. It doesn't matter if you laughed or not.
Well, Kevin, that's what kills me is like, I love being out of my comfort zone on stage. I love it. So I don't get comedians who do the same venues over and over and over again because it creates this false sense of comfortability and this false sense of what things are really going to be like. And it's like, man, no, each fucking crowd you perform in front of is going to be fucking different. Yeah. Why do you want to homogenize this shit, dude? You fucking can't.
You're cheating yourself by playing the same venue every single time.
God, it's like...
Get out. And you know what? And you said it too. You go up to Flagstaff and you're like, dude, this crowd was incredible. It was so good to get out of the city and do work in this other town and it was fun. Dude, when you do other cities, I don't want to make it sound easy because it's not, but it is easier than your city because you already have 3 minutes off of the top without even knowing it. You open with, you're from fucking Phoenix, all right? The city that everyone in this country is like, dude, that's the hottest place in the world. You can tell jokes right off the bat and then tell a joke about their city. But now I'm here, blah, 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 joke, boom. The crowd is into you right now because you related to them and you've won your set, dude. That's hitting that pocket. That's where it happens when you tour. It's not a secret. I mean, you do a couple cities and then you've got it. But if you haven't, I'm telling you how to do it right now. That's how you do it.
You know, I'm taking my notes down, and actually that was.
Oh, but I learned that.
That was certainly part of it.
I learned that from Greg Giraldo, where we went to cities, and you hit a city, and he would say, look, just get the newspaper, man. See what's going on in their city. And say something relatable. If you relate to them from the beginning, then you're good, man, because they know you give a shit.
When did you know Greg?
I knew Greg. I was 22.
Wow.
Started working with him for 4 years.
Really? Where at, dude?
Everywhere.
That's amazing.
Did feature work for him.
Wow. Kevin, that's...
Yeah. He taught me more than anything. But everywhere we went, even I would even open up with stuff about the city, and they bought into me, but then you see him go up, and it was...
Huge.
I mean, it's just next level, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kevin, I mean, for us, I mean, he's just one of the best. And that's, I mean, particularly, you know, I model some of my material. I mean, I'd say material, but my persona.
Nah.
After that,
I don't talk a lot about Greg.
No, I know, and maybe it's I'm getting all this information from Nancy. I'm pulling all this information from you. You know, this is the Inappropriate podcast with Paul Lucie, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck, you know, Dr. Lucie right now. Fucking A, but no, I'm, you know, but Kevin, I mean, for me, I had no idea about that, but just hearing that briefly was that was tremendous, dude, and you know. It's even having even fucking more respect, you know, for your point of view and how you approach shit, and even for fucking having me on this podcast right now, man. I can't reiterate enough how much this has meant to me, and particularly for someone that's been, you know, that's my age and that's been doing it for longer than I have, and has a true appreciation for comedy and working with people who I idolized. I mean, dude. You are so believable. You're blessed. I hope you feel that way, and I think, you know, people could obviously, you know, learn from it, and that's kind of what we all strive to be, dude. That's all. For me, that's all I want in my 15 minutes of fame and comedy is just give me fucking one opening gig for a national headlining comedian. I don't give a fuck where it is, what club it's in. Just allow me to have that opportunity.
You'll get it, man.
I hope so, Kevin. We'll see, dude. But you know what, though? It's weird because it's okay if I don't. And, dude, we're probably...
Yeah, dude. We got to start wrapping up.
We got to wrap up.
Finish your thought.
But it's okay because I feel comfortable with where I'm at right now when I do, like, these kind of little one-off type shows or bar shows or hotel shows and stuff like that. It's because if the crowd's into it, I love it, you know? And... those are the type of shows that makes me a better comedian. hopefully in the long run. You
Yeah.
know, and if I get to that point, so be it. And if I'm fucking too edgy or whatnot, so be it. But Kevin, I look at it that, you know, I think I have, as much as I don't want to admit this, I think I have a tremendous local support here in Phoenix.
Dude.
You know, whether or not people want to tell me or not, you know, and I just feel extremely fortunate with things. I love the fact that people are just so funny and so talented here, because it always makes me strive to be better. And, you know, I just, you know, hopefully I can achieve the things that I want. And if I don't, it's okay, because I'm going to still fucking enjoy what I'm doing.
I'm going to say this, and then we're going to end it.
Okay,
so we can hug and cry.
Yeah. It's been fucking over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, dude, normally this podcast was like an hour. Like, yeah, dude, if we go long, it's okay. Fuck, Paul. I didn't expect us to go fucking over twice as much. You guys are going to have to be doing a lot of editing after this.
We do not. So listen,
I'll give everyone $10. They can listen to this entire podcast in its entirety.
Paul, I'm going to tell you to keep working, man, because you are one of the comics that every comic comes into the room to listen to.
You think so?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know so. Just look at the back of the room, man. I know the light shines and you can't see it, but I'm back there with everybody, man.
I appreciate
You're
that.
one of the comics that every comic comes into the room and listens to, and not many comics can do that, man. So keep working, and you're going to get where you want to be, dude, for real.
Thank you, Kevin. That means the world to me. Thank you so much.
We'll hug and we'll cry.
Yeah, this was a tremendous opportunity. Thank you, man.
Paul, I've been wanting to get this thing done, man. I'm so glad we got it, man. Thank you so much for coming, dude.
My pleasure, man.
And we're going to do this again.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Love y'all. Hey, have a good week.
This has been another great presentation by the 4-Eyed Radio Network. You can find more information at 4eyedradio.com.